Okay. So what can go wrong will go wrong with the RNG cast. That's the new tagline for the show. Des and I have decided because it did today.
Oh
But
my
at least you're
lord!
back.
Oh yeah, thank God. Finally,
And you didn't wake up the wife.
well, we'll find out about that. I don't know. If I hear loud footsteps coming down, it's a 5-month pregnant woman about to kill me.
It's right where the uncomfortableness starts, huh?
No, it's the tiredness, man. It's the tiredness now. Now it's like, because now I got to do everything. But I kind of do everything anyway, so it's not that big of a change. But good Lord, yesterday was my birthday, so we were walking around
Belated birthday, good sir.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We were walking around Disneyland. We have our season passes. We go 40 times a year, but I figured it'd be a decent day to go. So perfect weather. Everything's going great. No lines. Everything's just perfect. Everything's going amazing. And then, I'm a big sports fan, so I picked up, there was a Dodger game that was on. I said, you know what, screw it. Let's spend the $150. Let's go to a game, have a good time. So we went from Disneyland to the game, and then literally, like, as we were driving up, she's like, I am exhausted. And I was like, but babe, we only walked out for a little bit. Yeah, and it's like, it became like literally like me chasing after both boys in Dodger Stadium while my wife was just sitting there like half asleep the entire time. So that was interesting, but it was fun as hell.
Well, that's good and bad at the same time, because I'm sure both the boys are like, oh, we're going to run you ragged.
Oh, they know, man. Oh, they know. And they know, like, to split up. They know if they stay together, they're dead. But if they split up,
they're dead.
It's like, if they split up, man, they're good. They can split up in the aisle seats we got, and then one goes one way, one goes the other way, and it's like, oh fuck, which one am I going to pick? I've got the 1-year-old who's the size of a 3-year-old, or I've got the 3-year-old who's smarter than like a 6-year-old. I don't know. It's like I'm like trying to pick between
danger. Who's in more physical danger?
Probably the people around us with my boys.
I was telling Des, Gorilla, that the other day I took Pete out in our backyard, what he does, you take a dog out to go to the bathroom and whatnot, and I heard like a noise I've never heard him make. It was like a type of noise, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I thought maybe his head got stuck in the fence. It's Pete. It's Pete. Anything can happen, right? That's just what we've realized in our time with him. And I come around the corner and I see him like shit whipping something around, and I'm like, oh, he has a toy out here. And then I realize he didn't bring a toy out here. And then I see blood.
Oh no!
It was a rabbit. And
damn, he's fast to catch a rabbit, man.
Oh, he's quick as shit. And then the missus comes out and she goes, what happened? What's the matter? And I'm like, nothing. And she goes, is that? And I'm like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. And she goes, did he just kill a bunny? And I'm like, he may or may not have killed a bunny. He may or may not.
May not have played this shaky game with said bunny.
But he definitely grabbed said bunny and shook the dog shit out of it. And in doing so, may or may not have ended that bunny's life. Good news, the bunny didn't feel anything.
I was just going to say, man, a dog that big, it was nice and quick.
It was quick, yeah. Pete always gave him an honorable death.
Oh, man.
It was probably a quick kill.
Yeah, for sure it was.
Oh, dude, my Shiba Shepherd mix, man, he catches everything in the backyard, and because he's about 65, 70 pounds, and he is pure muscle, so he is like the quickest little shit, and he's a good sized dog too, and he can catch anything in my yard. Now I live in the goddamn hills, like pretty much the desert's my backyard, so I mean I've got all kinds of I got snakes, I got rabbits, I got freaking everything you can think of. Well, motherfucker the other day catches a tarantula. And like proud bringing it to me, and I'm like, oh, it's dead. Like he has killed it. It is dead. But he brings it over, and he's like, oh, look, Dad, look what I got for you. And I was like, yeah, never do that again, son, please. Oh my God.
Meanwhile, you're like, ah!
Exactly. I was like, burn it with fire. I don't know if I can ever pet you again because you've touched one of those. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, I don't know. I'm not afraid of very many things in this world, man, but spiders are one.
I can tell his next acquisition is he's going to try to catch a bird out the air.
he's caught a possum. He catches butterflies. Which is really impressive if you think about it. And then he catches and he makes piles.
Mm-hmm.
He makes piles of dead lizards and snakes and crap like that. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
That's the shepherd. That's the shepherd in him. God damn it, Pete! Mother fuck!
Oh, it's awesome. This is the greatest morning ever.
He just knocked over my monitor.
Dad, you better watch out, man. You better watch out.
I know, right? It's like, holy crap. I mean, I already had my issue. Like, as Buster started calling me, I had a freaking can of drink I was putting down these wireless headphones, which weigh like nothing, that made this avalanche on my desk, and a can of drink just spilled everywhere. It's like, oh.
I love when people are like, just I love hearing Pete fuck shit up in your game room. I'm like, I don't love it at all.
You're like, I freaking hate it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it.
And the crazy thing is, imagine like in a year from now
when he's 125 pounds and
yes, that's what I'm saying. He's only he's got to be 75 pounds now. He's
probably in the what is that? What's in your mouth? What is that? What is that in your mouth?
Oh, this is great, man. This is why I love you guys. This is why I love you guys, man.
Well, the fact that I'm not going to edit this out either, so.
I know, right?
Oh, of course, man. Come on. Adds a little spice to the equation.
It makes you feel like you're really here with us and laughing at our misfortune. Yeah, he's probably like 72 pounds right now.
Oh, my God, man. He's huge.
Oh, yeah. He's monstrous pupper.
He's also super cute, apparently.
Oh, come on, man! You know that dog's
He's adorable.
My wife wants to drive to you and steal him.
So he might be. Cute.
I don't know if you want to mess. I know you're trained in hand-to-hand combat, but I don't know if you want to mess with a pregnant woman.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nope. I'll just give her. I'll give her the leash. I'll just be like, here you go, and he'll go with her. He'll go with you guys.
They gain that superhuman strength stuff where they move cars and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, bye. Welcome to your new home. Bye, Pete.
Listen, he does that all the time. I was walking him last night, and a little girl was outside riding around on a scooter, maybe like 3. Just kind of like, maybe not even an inch taller than Pete standing up. So yeah, like 3. And I'm like, oh no. Because if it has wheels and it rolls, Pete thinks it's a ball, and I'm like, oh no, he's gonna try to grab that scooter out from under this little girl, and I'm gonna have to explain to somebody why their kid has a cracked head because their head hit the concrete. Great, okay, my life is good. And I was like, Pete, no, and she's like, oh my God, the little girl gave her credit because 3-year-olds have zero fear in life.
Oh my God! Yeah, tell me this.
She was like, "Oh, a Poppy," and then ran to him. And Pete was like, "Oh, we're gonna play." And I could read his body language, like he was planning on popping up on his hind legs and putting his paws over this little girl's head.
Oh my God, she would have smashed him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he would have smashed him.
He would have smashed her. And I was like, I had his leash, and it was. I mean, we have like a 2-foot lead. I give him a 2-foot lead because he's still training. Oh, are you serious right now?
He hears all this talk about him, man. They're smart.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he hears my the missus. She's in the bathroom, and the little girl's like, "Oh, can I pet him?" And I'm like, "Sure, you can." And then her dad comes out and sees Pete, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's so adorable." and he the thing that gets me, this little shit, is he sits perfectly, just like the perfect definition of sit. Like, think of like a regal animal, like Jon Snow and his wolf. He just sits.
Not this scratching I'm hearing behind.
No, not an asshole that he is in real life. Just sits perfectly. Like, I'm the best dog in the world. My middle name is Aloysius. Stuff like that, right?
Aloysius, I love it.
So he.
I don't know. I know another. There's a Reggie Aloysius Miller. Reggie Miller. I don't know if he's a basketball player. That's so funny that you said that. That's hilarious.
I mean, I make jokes all the time that his middle name is Aloysius. It's not, but
It should be. It should be.
Yeah, it should be. All right, Pete, come on, bud. And this is what it's like playing Destiny 2 with me. You're going to hear that a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pete,
come on, man.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And that.
No, he's his new things now is when he doesn't want to be in here, he'll pop up on his hind legs and hit the switch that controls everything.
He's so smart, man.
Yeah,
That's so smart.
he's Velociraptor smart, and it's scary because Velociraptors were scary smart.
Clever boy.
Clever girl. So, if I suddenly go quiet, we know why.
That's hilarious.
I'm chasing after Pete, going no. But
oh man, all right. Well, shit.
So Double G,
Let's,
you asked, hey, can I come on? You made the offer, and now you're stuck with me because we were live tweeting each other or live messaging each other during the reveal stream.
Oh yeah, man.
And
Go
ahead.
No, I was just saying, I know you guys always say, hey, everyone want to come back on? Let me know, and I'm damn sure I'm going to take up on the offer, man.
And
I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I'm going to freaking enjoy the hell out of this. And yeah, man, freaking, we were live chatting that up. Some pretty interesting stuff, man. Pretty interesting stuff.
For sure.
So Des, you
have
the TWAB, right? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as I was saying, like, GorillaGolf is our first returning listener. Guest.
There we go.
We
go.
Yes.
There we go.
I don't think we've had another listener who's come on twice. I could review the document, but I'm pretty sure. But anyway.
Solid.
Yes. I know, right? Very nice.
Very nice.
So, let's see. So, yes, as Buster mentioned, the TWAB, we have it, which, guess what? First thing on the TWAB, hey, they revealed Forsaken. Nah, really. But just in case you haven't seen it, and they do have a nice summary, too long didn't watch, they have a nice list of bullet points of things that they went through on this reveal stream. Forsaken tells a new story with a darker tone in a lawless frontier. Tangled Shores, a new destination made of a web of asteroids and mysteries. I know, right? Reading. Jesus. The Dreaming City is our first in-game destination, home to the biggest challenges. The Scorn are a new enemy, led by a group of 8 barons you will hunt down. Our new weapon system gives you more control over how you configure your fighting style. We're adding random rolls and improving the mod system for better weapon customization. New Masterwork style system allows you to level up weapons over time. Your Guardian discovers new ways to fight with new supers. The bow joins your arsenal as a new weapon type. Gambit is a new activity that combines PvE and PvP and competitive co-op experience. And there is a brand new raid located in the Dreaming City. The new collections feature lets you track all the items you can acquire, and the new Triumphs feature lets you track your achievements and lore.
Ooh, that got me excited. That last little bit, right? Man.
I know, right?
That last little bit got me excited.
Yeah, the fact that they're actually bringing back in-game lore, like they're kind of admitting, it's like, okay, our previous in-game lore didn't work out, so here's in-game lore. So, hooray! And it is hilarious that the like collection in Triumphs kind of does, even like the UI even looks like the old Grimoire cards.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
which is funny.
But look, they're appeasing PvP people. They're appeasing raid people. They gotta appease the lore people. It's a big part of this community, man. And they've had a tough go of it for D2, man. They've had a real tough go of it.
They have, and like they've said, like throughout this stream, Forsaken is the culmination of the feedback that they've gotten from pretty much every aspect of Destiny 2, pretty much. And this is like their step. Well, like I said, it's got something for literally every reach of this community.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's literally like when I hear that they're like, maybe did we do too much? That's what I want to hear as a gamer. I want to hear, okay, you want to test me? Okay, test me. Give me as much as you can give me. And then if it's too much, then I'll tell you. If it's something where it's unattainable, that's fine. Then I'll tell you, hey, comment. But that hasn't happened yet. I don't know about you guys. That hasn't happened yet. The more you give me, the more I'm going to devour it, man. I mean, this community, we fly through this, which is a sign to me. Think about this. This latest patch came through.
Yeah.
I'm still grinding, man. Oh, yeah. I'm still living the grind life, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is, I mean, it's weeks now, right? Am I not mistaken?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. And we have guys who fly through content in 5 days. Not even that. In a day, they fly through everything, and they're done, and then they're pissed. Mm-hmm. But it's like, hey, man, I really haven't heard anyone be like, oh, there's nothing to do.
I know, right?
I still haven't gotten the Winter Wolf yet.
I might have it. I don't know. Maybe. God,
it's fine.
Maybe.
With faction rallies, it's kind of hard because it's like,
dude, faction rally.
Yeah, I mean, right now my highest power character is 374 that my hunter can reach.
Nice.
And I'm pretty. And see, that's the thing, because I spent like the first week, like pretty much legitimately, like week and a half, 2 weeks, saying screw milestones, screw the power climb. I'm tracking down these sleeper nodes. I'm still at 39 out of 40.
Oh,
on the emblem.
I can get you, brother.
Oh, well, it's just the fact that I mean, I haven't focused on them, and I'm still doing them, but I keep getting repeats, so it's just...
Gotcha.
It's just finding that one last unique node to clear out that emblem, and I'm kind of okay with it being 39 out of 40, so I haven't, like, really, pushed it.
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's not Forever 29, but it's like when you just hit 29 in D1, and you were like, you know what, I'm all right being this right now. It's okay. But then after like the weeks went by and you were still 29, and then you wanted to sacrifice a chicken to the RNG gods to make it so that you could get all your light level done. But God, there's faction rally. I mean, look, patrolling for me is great and everything. I love the fact that they did this whole stack thing, man. This stack thing, because I just turned 31, and for some reason I'm getting tired much earlier. It's just the way it is.
Go fuck yourself.
I can't patrol. I can't patrol for goddamn 2 hours and get barely anything. If I patrol for 2 hours, I'm going to end up with like a bajillion those little tokens, man. Before, it wasn't always the case. So, I mean, I think it was such a really smart idea for them to do that, and it reincorporated the freaking lost sectors. Lost sectors are a bitch now, man. They are a pain in the ass.
They are. They've actually done what the community wanted to, maybe not in the direction that like this current iteration of faction rallies, like I said, may not be the direction a lot of the community was asking for, but they did what the community was asking for, and the fact that they made faction rally a specific grind now. It is a specified area. I actually noticed a tweet, I think from Fallout, or some, one of the big PvPers, and it's like, grinding PvP for like a day and hit rank 4 or something like that. So he's like, PvP is not the way to progress in faction rallies anymore. It is not
even close. Yeah, if it's and that's a great point, because it's getting the PvPers to get out of that comp playlist and finally jump into a freaking story. And you know what the funny thing is? Whenever you get someone who's a true PvP slayer, like they don't even look at the lore and anything like that, and you throw them into a patrol, it's like a little kid in the candy store. They're all like, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" It's like, you know what I mean? They like experiencing, and then you're like, "You dummy! There's 2 parts to this game at least. Like, you're only using half of it, but they use it, and it's amazing. They could sit there and get all the rewards by just doing their normal PvP thing, but now you can't do that, man. Especially you want to hit that rank 50.
Yeah, it's like I said in our Discord. I actually made some calculations. Doing the dailies because I found out that the daily challenges on gives you 15 tokens.
Yes, sir.
So doing the dailies 3 times, and then plus that one extra one that was kind of out of the blue at the start, and then doing all the required grinding for the helmet ornaments, because all the ornaments are, at least for Future War Cult and the ones on Dead Orbit that I know, so I'm assuming all the helmet ornaments have the same one that you have to spend 50 renown.
It's for New Monarchy too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that, like getting that ornament and doing
Hold on one second. Are we all 3 different factions here?
For sure.
I mean, I pledge Future War Cult.
And you just said New Monarchy, correct?
Yep.
Oh, and I'm Dead Orbit. That is hilarious. Fair. I'm sorry. I just had to point that out. Point that out.
Des, you said renown spent, correct?
Yeah, renown spent. These are your stacks that success. When the ornaments say renown spent, these are the stacks that you successfully open a Lost Sector chest with, and that's spending renown. But yeah, and doing that, which is 10 renown or 10 runs of max renown, doing all that on all characters, assuming you have 3, gets you rank 39.
Exactly. So they're making you come back. And that's optimum, being completely optimum.
Oh yeah, and that's not including, of course, extra grinding. That's not including running Nightfalls, which apparently do give you good tokens and crap like that. And so, I mean, that's not including like the milestones and the tokens you get from doing the milestones as well. That's just like the necessary, quote unquote, like grinding, and you can hit rank 39. Because I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a tight grind, it's a tight grind." Once I actually calculated all that, it's not really that tight of a grind, because, like I said, they give you enough to do that you can hit rank 39 with required grinding. And I'm gonna say, like I said, if you do your Nightfalls, you do the raid, you do your heroic strikes, and all this,
you should be fine.
Hitting rank 50, as long as you can play just a little bit daily, is actually very, very safe and easy to hit rank 50.
Yeah, my wife's about to hit it. She's about to hit it.
Yeah,
she's gonna be there.
I'm like rank 47 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yours truly not so much, but the wife will definitely be there.
I had to get a full set of armor for my Warlock, I think, because I have it for my Titan and I had it for my Hunter. Surprisingly, when I looked in my vault, and I was like, "Does my Warlock have any?" And I was like, "No, he does not." So I'd use my tokens to get the Warlock armor.
Exactly. That's what I did.
It worked. And now surprise, surprise, one of the Warlock ornament milestones to unlock the chest ornament is patrols in EDZ, and I'm like, it's just Duke patrols?
Yeah, no, right?
So you're pretty much giving me, it's a gimme for me.
Yeah.
So this is in my line of work, this is a tap in.
I know, right? But I actually had to do the same thing, because the only character I had with a full set of armor to start with was my Hunter. So I had to collect, which thankfully the RNG guys were very nice, and it only took me about two sessions of play to get my Titan and my Warlock full sets, which I've got to say I did a huge disservice, because Future War Cult Titan armor, oh my god, that might be like my favorite set of armor.
I've seen that. That, man.
My god, like I've seen the images, but like I said, collecting it and putting it on and putting like the season 2 ornaments on, it's just like then unlocking all the season 3 ornaments, is like this looks so good.
They do look good. I mean, I like the Lions for New Monarchy, but I do like this new season's ornament set for future for New Monarchy right now. Yeah. I think next one is going to be Future War Cult. That's the next one I'm pledging to, because I'll be able to get 50 this time around.
Mine's probably going to be Dead Orbit next time, so I can get, of course, the catalyst that everyone's talking about. But like I said, first time around, I want my Sunshot.
I'm about to say, a lot of people are talking about that Sunshot, so
I know, right? And I'm seeing a lot of people, like in my friends list, and like a lot of people in the wild wearing Future War Cult armor, and it's like, this is not what I expected.
Oh man, they're the underdog. They've lost every single one, previous to this. So, they've got the little, like, groundswell of, like, people wanting they're getting the sympathy vote right now, man. That's all it is right now. That's all it is.
That, and at least they do have the Sunshot Catalyst, which...
It is cool. I watched the side-by-side kind of thing, and that is, pretty sick.
That Catalyst is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean...
Pete, stop. Just me, Pete. But what about the weapons this time around? Did you guys? I mean, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the TWAB. I'm sorry. We got pulled off. Got RNG'd. We got RNG'd.
Wow. It happens every time. Come on.
I know, right? But they also have. We were talking about the reveal stream. They also have updated the roadmap for the September Forsaken year 2 release. Of course, gear collections are still there. In-game triumphs. All right, because last time they just had triumphs, and the year 1 triumphs for 1.2.3 are Bungie.net triumphs. Year 2 adds the in-game triumphs. So there's that. And also, as the developers have said, everything on this roadmap is not specifically tied to Forsaken. Everything on the roadmap is everything all players are going to get. So weapon slot changes, weapon randomization, mod system update, bulk shader deletion.
Yes.
Has finally returned to the roadmap and is coming in September.
Those 600 Avalon teals are gone.
I know, right?
No, mine's Atlantis Wash.
Yeah,
oh my god, if I get another Atlantis Wash, oh, good lord.
Let's see, new Crucible mode, which also, side note, developers are saying that's not Gambit. Gambit is not considered a Crucible mode. Gambit is its own thing on the director. It does not live in the Crucible mode. So new Crucible mode, they haven't even told us yet.
You tricky bitches.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's one thing I noticed.
Come on, man. Come on. There's so many people who want that, man. So many people.
Especially once they came out with the passing mechanic for the orbits, like, yes, give us Rift with passing. I mean, we said it, and keep listening to podcasts like, oh man, Rift with the new passing. It's like, we've been saying that. Rift with passing, please.
Des and I would be PvP ponies again. I miss it.
Yeah, 4 new Crucible maps, in-game lore, new bounties, and out of the blue, 200 additional vault slots.
Yeah, like, you want vault? You get vault slots. You get vault slots.
They're upping it to a total of 500 vault slots, which, again,
I'll fill it in a week.
Yeah, for sure. But, again, their philosophy with that is, since they're bringing back random rolls, they do feel like we definitely need to at least up it this much, like at a minimum, because, I mean, your vault space is going to become even more precious because they're bringing back the old system. So...
Now, do you think for random rolls, they're going to require you to use the weapon mods to make them random, or are they going to drop random now?
Actually, from what they said in the Vidoc, every drop is different.
I was going to say drop. I heard drop.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is something really weird. All right, so now we can dive in deep on some of these, like, things about the reveal, which one thing I'm going to say right up front, I was skeptical of weapon slot changes. Of course, like any decent, individual probably not really should be, but
hey man, you're a Destiny scientist, pretty much. You're come on.
Sort of, but
no, you are, man. Come on, anyone who does a spreadsheet like you do, you are damn a Destiny scientist.
Just accept it, Des.
I mean, whatever.
Accept your fate.
But the fact that once they actually showed what they were doing, it's like, you know what, if you like the D2 way of playing, we got you covered. You want D1 back? We got you covered. You want to do some crazy crap that we've never done before? We've got you covered. I really love this new system.
You want 3 shotguns? Go ahead, I guess. That's
what I might be crazy enough to equip 3 shotguns while doing friggin' PvE.
No.
Run around and shotgunning everything.
This is just me, but this feels like Bungie just throwing money at everything. I mean, hiring, all these extra, studios and stuff like that, and just bringing on, like, all these people from the community and stuff like that. Like, they're just like, throw money at it. Let's make this better. We got to fix this now or we're going to lose this shit. Well, I mean, that's literally what it sounds like to me.
It's just the fact that D2 launch, they even admitted, like, of course, here's the obligatory Crucible Radio Bungie developer interview drop. Listen to it. Yeah. Latest episode 154, I believe, is the episode number for part 1.
Yeah, part 1.
And then part 2 is coming out, of course, whenever Crucible Radio drops. Monday? Monday
or Tuesday.
Monday. And they even said themselves, like, D2 was kind of a safe thing. I mean, they wanted to make changes for players, but they went safer routes. That's why they went fixed roles, because they felt the way they did random rolls was, like, just not healthy for gameplay and things like that. So they went fixed roles. They went, all this stuff. So, yeah, people saying, like, oh, D2 was safe. It's like, yeah, they're now saying, it's like, yeah, D2 was a safe bet, like, at launch. And now they're just saying, you know what, you want a broken system? You want, like, a partially broken system? Here you go. You want to just have fun? Here you go. Like, and I've also heard, because like I said, the examples that they've given, of course, was like the 3 shotguns, but I've seen on Twitter people talking about 3 pulse rifles.
Yeah.
If they actually 3 rocket launchers, am I the only one who thought that? I don't know.
I think Gorilla, you said, and I quote, so you're going to go 3 auto rifles?
I mean,
that was the quote.
I think you actually said that to me, like, you're doing 3 auto rifles, aren't you?
I did.
Which, I mean, hilariously, because that's one thing I'm wondering about, because if they allow every weapon type to possibly drop in every slot, that means they're technically bringing back MGs.
Yeah.
Because what's the difference between an MG and a power auto rifle?
Nothing.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to limit it. It's going to have to be a weapon. They're going to have to exclude rockets. I mean, the super. Well, yeah, they're going to have to, man. If they don't, it's going to be. Can you imagine the Crucible? It's going to be guys running around with a hand cannon or whatever the hell they want. An anti-ope, and they're going to, and then 2 rocket launchers. Because they're going to be able to do a team wipe pretty much. Think about it. You take someone out with the NAM, you switch to a rocket launcher, you take someone out, you switch to the other rocket, you take 2 more people out. You take a whole team out in like 5 seconds.
Yes, which, I mean, also
which sounds badass. I'm not saying it doesn't sound badass. I'll totally watch that.
Do it.
And it would give me like half a chubby to watch that. It would be really cool. But, I'm just saying, it might be a little broken.
Also, I'm calling it now Twin Rabbit, the new exotic rocket launcher, apparently from Dito.
Yep. Which
Dito is also the makers of the Jade Rabbit. So Twin Rabbit, Jade Rabbit. Anyway, that's going to be the best rocket launcher for PvP. Why?
Suppress and burn, baby.
No, that's not why. Because it has 2 rockets in the magazine.
Ooh.
Oh, so it doubles your ammo, your effective ammo.
Every other rocket launcher
blast radiuses on it.
Every other rocket launcher in D2 can only load 1 into the magazine. Twin Rabbit loads 2.
Oof.
Best rocket launcher.
Yeah, it is. Like, it just, no matter what, like, even if the explosiveness is oh man, even if it's just a little bit, you can still do something.
If it actually loads up 2 rockets for PvP, that's 2 guaranteed kills as long as your aim is on point.
Do you know exactly the archetype of it? Does it say it shoots just once at a time?
I read that it shot both rockets at the same time.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking Matrix, like they're like shooting down at the squids kind of thing, like dual rocket launchers going down. Like that's what I'm thinking, man.
I'm sorry. What I think it's gonna look like is they're gonna be spiraling together. Like,
I
read it, I was like, oh, it's gonna spiral.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and then I actually retract my statement. If as long as they fire simultaneously, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Which then would also mean awesome, because again, that means it's not going to be the best rocket launcher ever. Mm-hmm. So I immediately retract that statement.
But it could be, as far as DPS wise, if it does two high impact shells, I mean, it could do. Oof. Two shots
like,
at one time kind of thing. And
the fact that it's going to be two direct impact rockets, possibly. I mean, it's for PvE. It might still be, especially with the damage over time feature. It could be like the best DPS.
Yeah, especially think about Lunafaction with that.
Yeah.
You run out of rockets in like 2 seconds, but I mean, that'd be insane.
You would run out of rockets quick.
Also, for raiders out there, which a lot of you probably already know, but for those that don't quite raid and want to use Lunafaction in the Callous Shadow room, don't.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's great because you can shoot down a lot of skulls. The issue is you run out of ammo. Yes. You are able to fire so consistently, your kinetic reserves or energy reserve will be gone.
Dude, my raid team, it was funny. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's freaking all three people who were on the inside were always like, I'm out of ammo. And I was in the throne room, and I'm like, what do you mean you're out of ammo? How are you out of ammo? That is hilarious, dude. That makes complete sense now.
Oh, yeah. Because it reloads off of your reserve.
Exactly. So you're just constantly eating through reserves. So we tried.
You're like Callous. You're like shooting, freaking the pew gun. The pow comes out at the end.
But also another change on the roadmap, 1.2.3, 6v6 quick play.
Ooh, yes. Oh yeah, baby.
Which I'm okay with because one thing that they took off of the roadmap but was on for a time, and one thing that they announced is the fact that power is going to matter in Trials and Banner come year 2.
I love it.
I'm okay with taking the specialness away from Banner with the 6v6 because they're bringing the specialness that is Banner back by making power matter with that in Trials. So that specialness is being re-implemented. So I'm okay with this change. And, if you're going quick play, get used to 6v6 again because it's coming. It's coming very soon.
But that's the way it should be. Come on, man. We know. We all know this. For comp is supposed to be 4s. It's just the way. I mean, if you look at any game, it's 4s, man. And then if you look at just fun screwing around, 6v6 it's easier. There's more things to kill in front of you. It's less complex. There's not really objectives. Like you have to go capture something. As far as like going to set a charge, you don't have to go set a charge or anything. You have to just run around and kill people. And if you do that most of the time in quick play, you'll be fine. So I mean, I think it's a smart move on their part. You've also still have private matches, so you can do that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping with the new PvP mode we were talking about earlier, I'm hoping it's Rift. I think it's Rift. There's just too many people who want it. I mean, I think it's going to be a blast, man, and it's just going to make it much easier for people to be like, you know what, I'm down to fight tonight. Or the problem is, man, quick play. I've been killing people in comp and getting murdered in quick play. It's weird. It's just the way it is right now. But I think it was just the right way to go for them. It makes it clearly defined. It gives two completely different styles. Because guess what? If they're both 4v4, they feel kind of almost the same, even though they're not.
Yeah, it's definitely true, and at the same time, like you said, it actually helps give quick play and comp the separate identities, just completely and totally. So yeah, which is the one thing that helped Banner regain its identity for D2 is when they added 6s back to it. So I mean, it makes sense, this move. So yeah, quick hop back to Forsaken, and can I say that I know that the Scorn are fallen,
but they don't look it.
But by God, do they look amazing?
Mm-hmm.
They've got those pointy teeth and stuff like that.
Exactly. I mean, they
kind of looked little Gears of War to me. I don't know.
I know, right?
Maybe just me. I don't know.
But yeah, so yeah, the Scorn, like I said, they're like Renegade Fallen, so they're not which, again, once they revealed Forsaken, it reminded me that there were story elements that I kind of shrugged off at the time. But it is there are lines in D2 talking about Cade running the Prison of Elders. Which is, they say that I think what they have said is that's kind of how it starts is there's a breakout Yeah, there's a breakout in Prison of Elders, and these Scorn like let loose. So, yeah, these Scorn are unaffiliated Fallen.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling that the Prison of Elders is not that strong because shit keeps breaking out of it. I'm just saying.
Well,
I know.
Skull got released, right?
No, but the
no. But the Archon was
Priest.
broken out.
Yeah,
he was broken out.
That
so
was
I'm
our
just saying.
That was our first hint at the Prison of Elders at that, because in D1, the Archon Priest was taken out of the Prison of Elders.
Yeah, I get you. I just in the first time he's taken it, he was they talk about him coming out of the Prison of Elders. I don't know, man. I don't know. This prison's not as cracked up as it seems.
I know, right?
Needs a little reform going on.
Well,
there.
that and is run by Cade, so this was inevitable.
Well, he probably released him on purpose so he could probably capture him again.
I know, right?
I'm just saying that sounds like a Cade thing.
What happened? I got bored, and I thought you guys would want to do some extra stuff.
Don't tell Zavala.
What happened? Well, this guy pissed me off.
With everything.
Yeah. Also, the Dreaming City, I cannot wait to explore. Ooh. And why?
It's like Narnia and like freaking like Tolkien stuff all combined, man, and then like Void.
Yeah, it does. It does but also at the same time, like from a lore standpoint, this is the home of the Awoken, the Dreaming City.
And did they say it's going to change?
It will.
Yes.
It is somehow going to change for weeks.
So you have a
we don't know
environment, basically.
Yes, exactly. A living environment where the raid lives.
Yeah.
Also.
And it's a big bad this time. It's not some goddamn stupid robot. I'm sorry, I hate that raid, but that's just another thing. We've got a big bad at the end, and I'm just going to say this right now, and this is completely spinful. There's a lot of Taken flying around there. Well, the only person I know that can control Taken is Savathun, so I don't know, maybe. But that's the only thing I think of. Who else is controlling the Taken?
I know, right? I mean, and that does
hold up to lore. If they break this, I'm going to be pissed.
Well,
if they just say like some like random wizard took control, I'm not going to be happy.
I doubt that because they are hinting a lot. Because one thing, I think I mentioned it. One thing that somebody actually noticed is hilariously all the PlayStation exclusive strikes, like through the history of Destiny, are the ones that had the most story impact. Because Dust Palace in original D1 had the Scions or the Flayers like trying to, scurry around inside like Rasputin or something, or some AI core or whatever from like Bray Industries, so that had implication, which they actually repeated in Warmind, where Scions were trying to become Flayers and they needed Rasputin to evolve. I forget one of the other ones that were PlayStation, but it was Dust Palace. I'm forgetting a lot of them now. But then Lake of Shadows gives the implication that something is now controlling the Taken. And then now with Kargan, the Kargan strike for Warmind. Again, we have a Scion, a powerful leader Scion, actually successfully taking control of Vex structures. So, yeah, like, that's actually kind of hilarious.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There's some deep lore in the stuff that you get, man. It's a little, I don't know how I feel about it. It feels a little underhanded, they do have a big, they've got a big money going towards them, so they probably want something for their investment. They're not a bunch of like just dumb guys sitting in a boardroom. They know what goes on with the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they want a little chunk of the action. If they're paying the money,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like, you listen to the interview, and hilariously you get these like stories from their end, because a lot of people that do develop on it play it like in their life. And you hear these hilarious stories of people also blaming like coworkers for like drop rates. It's like, really? You know how many times I've done this? Really? So So yeah,
One of my favorite parts of the reveal stream was when I think it was a Crucible map director said "fuck," and then he was like, "Can I say fuck?"
I know, right?
Oh, that was funny.
Not,
And that was funny. I was rewatching it this morning, and I saw that, and it made me laugh pretty loud, and I almost woke up.
Yeah, that was great. So apparently, what I'm wondering is like this new Masterwork style that they keep talking about. Is this going to replace Infusion?
Oh, it might. Yeah.
I mean, because they mentioned like new Masterwork style system allows you to level up weapons over time, and I know that in the Viaduct that they went in not really detail about it, but they did like speak about it. You know, about this new Masterwork style system to allow you to gain power on weapons over time. So I'm wondering if the new Infusion kind of brings back sort of like the new, if this replaces Infusion, if they're kind of like bringing back sort of the EXP system of D1 vanilla, where the fact that in order to, but not for, of course, like nodes or anything, but in order to like power up a weapon, maybe you just have to use it more. So the weapons you actually use are the ones that get more powerful.
They did say investment. Exactly. That was a big thing they talked about. They said they want time investment in their gun. Then they said it about gameplay, and they said it about guns. Yeah. Because right now, man, I have no personal attachment to any of my guns. I know it sounds really dumb because it's video game gun, but in D1, you could not touch any of my raid weapons. You could not touch any of my like Gallahorn and Sleeper and stuff like that. I cared so much about those stupid damn little icons on a damn screen. Like I had personal attachments to them. In D2, the only gun that I feel that way right now is Sleeper because I had to effing work for that.
Duty bound.
Exactly. I mean, I'm gaining like that's what I like about the exotic masterwork system because finding the catalyst is RNG and some freaking harsh RNG sometimes. Oh my god. Oof. I cannot get it. Like, beyond the PvE catalysts, I have gotten, like, one strike catalyst to drop, and I think that was Borealis. I have not had a PvP catalyst to drop at all. But...
Dude, my wife has the greatest RNG in the world. She has, like, I don't know, like 10 of them. Nice. Like, they just fall in front of her. I've got, like, 3. And they just fall in her. She gets good ones, too. She gets, like, Vigilance Wing and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I hate your art. I hate it so much. Can you share some in the house, please?
But yeah, that is one thing I liked about it, because once you get the catalyst, you use the weapon, and it becomes better. And like I said, this is what I'm hoping for, like, in the fact that in order to get your weapons to become more powerful, it's the ones you use.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I would like that. I would like the hell out of that because it would show, like, you could look at someone, even if it's a, because, I mean, you're like, oh, you need to, all of a sudden I can already see the LFG can must have, like, minimal 30 power on a Gallahorn, for instance. I'm just throwing it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Like, your Gallahorn must be at least 30 rank to go in this raid. But, but I'm just saying it would be a measure of how, how hard someone's worked onto a gun. You know what I mean? Exactly. It would be insane. But it would have to be only PvE. Because could you imagine PvP?
But
guys would. Oh my god.
Yeah, and they're adding, like I said, they're adding weapon type that I didn't think that they were going to add. They're bringing in bows, which, hey.
Well, think about it. They had the mechanic for the hunter.
I mean, yeah,
they have the bow mechanic. It makes sense.
Because, I mean, people were asking for a bow around that time as well, and then hunters got in and were like, well, I guess this is the closest thing we're getting to a bow. No, just had to wait a little bit because we're getting bows, and that's going to be.
This is a real bow, man. This is a tech bow.
Right? I know this
thing
is like
badass.
That thing has pulleys and wheel.
That's what I'm saying. These are like compound bows. These are like legit.
I'm ready to go full Rambo, shoot down a helicopter right now. Like that's what I want to do with that thing.
Like like I said, they look. Oh my god! But yeah, these are like. Yeah.
They look cool. Is what they look.
Yeah, they do.
And when my man,
did you see the guy who's shooting the auto rifle down at him, and all of a sudden it's like flunk right through his chest or whatever, and it's like, that's sick.
Yeah, bows are going to be amazing.
You're going to see some long distance shots that are going to be insane, probably. You're going to see some guys like doing like jumping 50 feet in the air, shooting an arrow shot, and nailing some guy in the dome on the other side of the map in the first, like, I don't know, minute of the game.
What got me was the fact that they were like, this is like a revenge, like a Western revenge flick. And I'm like, yeah.
I know, right?
Yes.
But, okay, I took it I don't know if I took this the wrong way, but I mean, I get Western, but could you imagine if they, like, killed Cade? I know this is like taboo in the community, but could you imagine? And it's like us going out to get the revenge. Like Savathun comes in and kills Cade, and we're gonna go take that down.
I mean, I'm
just saying. That's a different angle, and it's crazy, but I just saw that, and that's the first thing that came to my head.
Is it crazy?
Because they keep showing Cade a lot, man. They're showing Cade a lot, and that's emotional attachment. And I would want to physically rip this thing's head off if they killed Cade.
Yeah, the fact that also, for whatever reason, it's the Ace of Spades that's the cover of Forsaken.
With Cade over top of it in the smoke.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, because that's the first thing I saw. It's like, we announced Forsaken. I saw the image, it's like, that's Ace of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
That's, but I do love the fact that, like, speaking of Western, I do love the fact that all these weapons that we've seen have like that Tex Mechanica aesthetic to it.
Oh yes,
it's like this is one thing I've wanted.
Tex Mechanica means.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I've wanted like legendary Tex Mechanica weapons for a long time because I love that aesthetic of like the Last Word and like all of the Tex Mechanica weapons.
And make them chaseable, you know what I mean? Make them something you have to grind for. You have to go out and find. Because how sick would that be? It's like, you know what? Today I'm going to go find this, old timey, revolver, and you know what I mean. It's going to take me it's going to be like trying to get Sleeper. It's going to be like trying to get something like that, and it's a legendary. So it's something you can actually pair with an exotic. Whew, now we're cooking.
But they also go into detail about the annual pass because a lot of people are confused about this annual pass. Namely because this is a comment, quote unquote, as the community has learned the terminology. This is an expansion.
Mm-hmm.
But they have an annual pass with this expansion. Now, why do they have an annual pass with this expansion? Essentially, the short of it is this expansion is going to have mini expansions through the year, or through the life of year 2. There are going to be 3 releases, as they call it, 3 premium content releases for the Black Armory, Joker's Wild, and Penumbra, which will each release. What these things are going to give you are more pinnacle activities, more weapons and armor, new and returning exotics, more in-game challenges, unique vanity rewards, more triumphs to collect, more lore to discover, and more raid layers.
It's basically them saying, remember how you said you want more game? Well, here's more game.
No,
yeah, but you got to pay for it. Like, you want the content? Yeah, this is the cost of doing business. And I'm fine with that, man. I'm fine with that.
That's an argument I don't want to get into because people are getting stupid on Twitter about that.
People get stupid on Twitter all the time.
I was going to say, people get stupid on Twitter? No.
Like, if they're not being stupid, I get worried.
That's true, but a lot of this is just, like, nonsense. But hilariously, this is an expansion that sounds like it's going to have, like, Curse of Osiris Warmind-sized mini expansions in them because they've already said that they're not going to focus on, like, the cutscene quality or cutscenes and, like, overt story of these expansions, which is fine. But they're going to focus on, like, getting more lore, more backstory into it than, like, overt story, which, like I said, is completely fine. Because those were kind of the weakest parts of Curse of Osiris and Warmind were the overt campaigns. Like, everything else in them were pretty good. Too great, like, on a scale. Like, nothing was bad beyond, at least in my opinion, beyond, like, the campaigns, which were the most lackluster part in Curse of Osiris and Warmind.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, everything else was, like I said, at least good to great. Except
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. The campaign was an F-.
Yeah,
like,
so I mean,
there's no lower grade.
So the fact that they're taking out that focus and putting in more focus to the other things, I'm cool with that. But it is, again, hilarious that they are giving us these mini expansions in an expansion. But as they broke down with a graphic, because, Bungie loves their graphics right now. The seasons are still going to be free for all players, and this includes seasonal rewards, special and seasonal events, quality of life updates, new Crucible maps and modes are going to be free for all players. And then with Forsaken, it's going to be a new story, new destination. Let's see if I can actually open this image so I can read it a little better.
A badass looking destination, man.
I know, right? It is.
It looks.
It is a part of the reef that we have not really. I mean, this is like the wild part of the reef, essentially.
But that's sick because they I'm glad they used it though. Because I thought about that like the entire time in D1. I'm going to the reef. I'm going to this little outpost. Like, what else is out here? Like, where do these people live? Like, what's going on? And it's like I was actually really happy to see that.
So yeah, new in-game destination, new levels and powers, new PvE and PvP mode Gambit, a new raid, new rewards, new legendary gear, new exotic gear, new triumphs to collect, new lore to discover, blah, blah, blah. And one confirmation that this graphic gives, which is the reason why I skipped over it earlier from talking about it, new subclass paths and supers. Confirmed. New trees.
9 of them.
Yes. Every element subclass is getting a new tree with this new super, which is one thing I know in Discord we wondered about.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, man? Think about how, me personally, at least, I thought our trees were so basic in this iteration. Like, everything's really basic to me. Like, I don't feel like, honestly, they all blend together to me almost like the way, like, if you play either style, they blend together. So you throw me another little iteration in there. Yeah. Now I've got variety now, and you're going to rework like the way they look like and mechanics.
I know,
okay,
right? Like,
now I feel better.
The fact that each of these trees are essentially doing what Bubble Titan does, and the fact that it's actually kind of changing. Well, actually, kind of all the some of the trees actually do this anyway, and the fact of changing the supers, but they've always stuck to what we already know and what we already had. So by this point in time, by the time we got hold of these supers, they didn't feel that overwhelming because, I mean, we've had Golden Gun. Arc Strider still kind of feels like Blade Dancer, The new things they added still kind of feel like the old, but, with some changes here and there. And now they're just ramping up. It's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do crazy stuff.
Yeah. So we saw in that Vidoc, we saw the knife-throwing Solar Hunter.
Which, like I said in Discord, I would expect that to have gone to an Arc subclass, because the Arc subclass has always been like Ninja Monk-esque to me, because Blade Dancer was you friggin' reverse grip like a Tanto and slash through people ninja style, and then Arc Strider using a staff.
I mean, they went basic and went throwing knife.
Well, we also don't know exactly how these throwing knives are going to act, because we don't know a lot about these supers.
You know they're going to have some sort of tracking.
Oh,
tell it, man. You know it's going to have some sort of tracking on it, which is going to be badass.
He also threw like 6.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're throwing out like a little Byakuya when he's doing his freaking Bankai.
I mean, so on activation, it seems like we're getting, like I said, for knives, it's like on activation you see them throw out, but it also looks like a roaming super. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
that would look kind of funky. That would look kind of funky if you were like running around like knives for you.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Are these knives going to be one hits? We have a lot of
that
questions.
Means you can take out an entire team.
Exactly. Right. I mean, if knives are one hit, that's going to be ridiculous.
You're going to see some videos that are going to be like all the private matches. They're going to have 6 guys lined up, and they're going to have guys like trying to take all 6 of them out at once. Oh my god, that would be insane.
Now, do you think you do think it's a roaming super? Because I thought it might be like the Nova Bomb, but for a hunter.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Because that's the thing. Because you see him activate, but he's still holding like 8 knives in his hands afterwards. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
I mean,
well, okay, maybe it looks cool if you could throw them real fast. Like if you could throw them real fast, then that's cooler. And they don't do it, and they're like kind of like a tracking like kind of thing, and it's like a lot. But I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that would make it look okay. Because I'm just saying, if you're running around just chucking knives, like I don't know.
Side note, when GorillaGolf said Byakuya, I was like, do you mean Zenbone Sakura? By the way, his Bankai is Zenbone Zakura Kakiyoshi, and it did look a little bit like his Shikai, which is just Zenbone Zakura. But as soon as you said that, Double G, my ears perked. I was like, huh?
I knew they would. Honestly, I was a little disappointed I didn't hear anything. I was a little disappointed I didn't hear anything. I was like, damn, that's a really good freaking Bleach reference. And this guy is not responding right now and breaking my heart.
No, I didn't want to interrupt your point.
I get you.
Then Des, I saw the there was the blade, the staff, the Arc Strider.
Yeah, the Strider getting a reflect is cool, but it's going to be highly situational, and I don't know how I feel about that. And I don't know.
They're turning it into PvE. Think about it for like a boss. If you were getting a lot of damage, you have everyone standing behind you, and you're blocking all the shots.
Yeah, but Strider also already has great PvE damage.
Oh, I know.
Like, if you know the combos, like, it's... Like, I get what they're doing, like, definitely making, like, a focus, like... It's almost like a support for Arc Strider.
It's the shield. It's the Sentinel Titan for the Arc Strider. You're getting a shield, basically.
Which you never had a heavy-duty class like that for Arc Strider. I mean,
that's true. That's true. Like, Hunter... Yeah, Hunters have always been, like, the Slayer / like, they added support with Night Stalker. So, I mean, to have, like, a protective role... for a Hunter is going to be an interesting like role shift for Hunters in specifically, should I say? So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how well it works and like exactly how it works because oh my god. And then of course the ultimate weeaboo in the Night Stalker new variant where you're like dual wielding blades and freaking just it almost looks like they're bringing back Blade Dancer. Is what it looks like. Yeah. Like, it looks like the Night Stalker variant is bringing back... Like, even if you look at the TWAB, like, at the header, that's Night Stalker. So, it looks like they're bringing back Blade Dancer, except for as a Night Stalker class, which is going to be really great for PvP, because Night Stalkers are going to have a super lethal variant for PvP, which is going to be very nice.
That's what I think they're doing. I think they're giving each class what they're missing.
Essentially, because
I mean, think about it. I mean, for a warlock, your supers aren't like long range supers. They're not. I mean, but you've got long range supers with a hunter with bow. You've got a long range super with golden gun. Titan, you've got hammers who can throw really way farther than a Dawnblade can go, at least accurately. You've got Titan who can throw the Sentinel Shield. Whereas Warlock, you've got a Nova Bomb, you got Tracky Nova Bomb, but it's not really like a long-range option. It doesn't pick someone up right away. You've got Nova Bomb, which goes bloop, like real short. You've got Storm Trance, which, I mean, takes forever to get anywhere. And then, you know what I mean? And you've really just...
Yeah, for sure.
So
you don't have an option.
So here's a Kamehameha, is what
damn right, you get it's the most badass thing ever. Like, as a Warlock main, that made me so excited.
Actually... I think it's hilarious. Everyone's labeling it a Kamehameha when people did the exact same thing for Nova Bomb originally. Which is like, sorry, but Nova Bomb kind of looks more like Big Bang, and there are way too many like one-headed wave attacks in DBZ for this to be labeled Kamehameha. But either way, it's closest to the angry Kamehameha Goku used on Frieza. But I digress.
Your logic sways me. Your logic sways me. That argument right there just completely changed what I thought about it.
Well, oh no, it's still going to be amazing. It's just
I like that
vernacular because it's like I tried so hard thinking of a DBZ one-handed wave attack, and it's like everyone has one. So it's like crap.
Everyone does have one, don't they?
Pretty much.
It could be it could be Krillin's Kamehameha. Come on.
It's like
something else.
It's like that's the thing because Kamehameha is like so iconic, which is actually the same iconography as like the Hadouken, because hilariously they're extraordinarily similar. I
was just gonna say Voidlock is doing a Hadouken way more than he's doing a Kamehameha, man.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's doing the pullback. All you would need is the other hand to come on with it. If you get the other hand to come on with it, then you've got yourself a freaking Hadouken there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this thing, like, it's going to be interesting to see how damaging the beam for Stormcaller is going to be.
Did you see it just like destroying that boss? Like the boss just melts, like disintegrates.
They've done that before with like Sleeper, like showing like.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not like it's going to be.
We don't know DPS, but it looks
exactly. It does look amazing. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be super satisfying to hit things.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it weak. Because if you think about it, you're pretty much getting a sleeper shot. You're getting a giant sleeper shot. It's a really good way to put it. You're getting a giant sleeper shot at something, so you're not going to really. It's not going to be a viable option for PvP.
Yeah, what I'm hoping for is with this addition, like it gets like a Celestial Nighthawk type damage, because this would make Warlocks better at DPS. Because right now, a lot of Warlock subclasses are like crowd control, like ad clear and things like that.
Unless you're throwing a Nova Bomb and you like arc it perfectly above Callus's head and it comes down right on top of him, yeah, you're freaking pretty much not doing anything.
Exactly.
Shit for DPS.
So this is like really. It looks like a really simple like DPS edition, which, like I said, is great for Warlocks and something that they kind of need. And then Voidwalker. Because legitimately what it looks like is it looks like you activate, you teleport super crazy, and then you like
explode.
Yeah, self-destruct, sort of, except
which
without
is
actually
interesting. Think about that for a PvP.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
you can get inside a building and like be bouncing off walls and crap like that, and then get into an enemy like location where they're all camped up because they can't hit you because you're going like invis. Like, you just explode, take out 3 of them, man. That's like a covert, like, slam.
Exactly. It looks super, super interesting.
That looks badass.
From that.
At least in that perspective, for PvP.
And we haven't
PvE
seen...
might not be that good.
Yeah, we haven't seen a clear, what's going on. Like, a lot of people are mentioning, like, the slam of the Warlock Sword is the Dawnblade variant.
Oh, I
but
hate that.
Dawnblades already have a sword slam. Because that's what happens when you use Phoenix Dive. Now, like, this imagery looks different, but I don't know, because again, they didn't really show it off.
Yeah, they didn't show
well.
activation. They showed him the person mid super bouncing back and forth.
Exactly.
And then it was, and then they panned to just him. They just kept showing like cinematic, like him just exploding, killing enemies. Exactly. So you really didn't see anything other than him just moving. You didn't see, so you can't really make a judge on it yet.
Yeah, that's like the bubble. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, the bubble turns red, so that's a new thing." It's like bubbles turn red now when they're about to die.
People
again, I don't. Again, I can't say anything like because I don't know. But what looks so freaking amazing is giant freaking hammer. Sweet Christ! I mean, we're talking like the axe from Rise of Iron is coming back with a
tornado hammer is what they're saying.
Yeah, legitimately, what it looks like though, like other than the fact that it adds a tornado, is this looks like the slam for the Young Wolf's Howl. Is what it looks like. It's like you smack it down, it releases this wave, and then it explodes into a tornado. Which, again, that part they really added and looks awesome. Especially like seeing the Titan swinging in like such a wide arc as well. Like, oh my god!
I see activation, and you doing a big slam forward, kind of like a super with a sword now. When you're taking out, doing that kind of thing, maybe hopefully a little more accurate, because that's a son of a bitch trying to aim.
It is.
Trying to aim that sword super. But if it's a little more, obviously a little more, easier to aim up, I think it would be a really cool mechanic, because it would be like a wall breaker kind of thing. Like you'd be going in, like you shoot that, and then you're running in, swinging that freaking tornado hammer. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the last thing we see, or at least one of the things, again, it's not super, super clear, but, Death from Above, Fist of Havoc, where you're basically flying through the air, literally like Superman.
I was just going to say,
literally like Superman.
Please, am I the only one that saw Superman? Hopefully, I'm not, because
he's jumping in this. Because that's the thing. Because when we see one activation, he's not even in the air. He's actually activating like from ground and launches up and at an arc like a freaking missile, or a la Superman, and then just slamming his fist into the ground. But we don't see an after effect of that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is the return of the one and done fist.
Oof. That would be honestly, man, I think they should.
Well, yeah,
Now that I've had a long time with it, and if I play as a Titan, I'm probably playing as a Slam, and I just think as a striker, I think it needs to go back to the bigger area effect, big Slam.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, because if they bring...
it's a roaming. You already got 2 roamings with it. You're going to make all 3 supers roaming? Like, that's the one thing I don't like about it. One thing.
Which, I mean, but that's... It's like, completely different, like, playstyles and such, because what this will do is if it's, the huge area of, like, questionable area of effect Slam coming back, I mean, I still feel okay with this because, again, it's like different playstyles, It might be easier to get a cluttered team wipe with this Slam, but at the same time, roaming Slam can be very strong picking off people. Like, you get, like, your initial Slam, you knock down, like, 2 people, you start running, it's like, oh, there's a dude... Shoulder charge.
Yeah, because it does have good length. It does have length. Like, it's not short. Like like you would think. Because if it's for being a shutdown quality super, I mean, it is very strong. In my personal opinion, it is the strongest. It's still, in my opinion, PvP. It's the strongest super still. It is completely shut down. Team wipe kind of.
I cannot wait to see. Because this what they're doing, I mean, it just looks super amazing and awesome, and I just cannot wait to see, like, especially the trees attached to it, because the first hint we got at the trees before this graphic was in the Vidoc itself, where I know me and one person on Twitter, like, noticed, it's like, wait, it's like, okay, that's a Warlock eating a nade. Wait, that's light blue in the bottom left corner.
Yep.
Wait, what?
That made me so excited, man. Because that means that you can generate an arc buddy, and then you can freaking shoot your beam. And now we're talking some fun.
And that is, like, sure, it's only 1 arc buddy, but that's a 20-second arc buddy. Come on.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times in PvE I've been and PvP been saved by an arc buddy. I'm just saying, arc buddy, you're my boy. Like, I'll always look out for you, buddy.
You're my boy, Blue.
Like, I never choose the other tree. I only choose your tree. I promise. Never. Only your tree, buddy.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, it's like super. Like I said, I can't wait for the meat and potatoes on these new supers, and especially the new trees to go with them, because I want to see how. Because one thing, like, I know a lot of people have complained in the past, which hilariously that complaint has subsided, was the fact that they've built these trees for the supers really well. Because they kind of complement play styles. Yeah, sure, you don't have your customization that you did in D1, but these are like, you have a little more of an idea. It's like, well, I can do this under this tree better than if I chose this tree. I mean, for hammers, it can be a little question. I mean, there's some similarity between the trees, which is very true, but I mean, they're still built in a way to, like, complement how the super works.
God, man, if I could just give me a Nova Bomb with tracking, that also gives my health back. That's all I ask. Just give me that. You rework it a little bit. Just make it OP a little bit, please. Because I'm just saying, I love Slova Bomb. Kind of in the minority, I get it, but I love Slova Bomb. It's hilarious. I think just giant, Pac-Man chasing people and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then my favorite thing in PvP is, like, no one thinks about, oh shit, there's the little other balls that come out, and you end up taking out 3 or 4 guys because they're not paying attention. And I mean, give me that, but just give me my health, because guess what? You taking my super away from my grenade? I don't like that. I don't like that.
Much like my Twitter clip, that even made my wife laugh, which was hilarious because I've been trying out the new the Retro Futurist shotgun, because it has really high handling and feels really, really good.
Extremely good shotgun.
But I've been using it, and one thing that the clip doesn't show, or at least gives like a little bit, is like I shotgunned this one Warlock like 3 times in like 20 seconds. So he finally, like, I have my super, and I just, I'm just like flying through this one part, and I just launch a Nova Bomb. Warlock kills me because as you see in the clip, I aim my shotgun because I don't realize I'm out of ammo. Then I look down and realize I'm out of ammo. Oh. Warlock finally kills me, starts teabagging me, and as he's teabagging, one of these little Axions just slowly drips down. It's like, hi, buddy.
That's the best feeling in the world. I mean, come on. Everyone knows I'm a grenade scumbag. Like, I love grenades. So, like, martyrdom and COD, oh my God. My greatest joys in life were martyrdom when someone was freaking, like, thinking they're dropping bags or something like that, and then they get blown up by a grenade. Oh, there's nothing sweeter. You hear that little noise and they're dead. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
It was so fun. I laughed so hard. Oh my God, it was great. I almost wish my like headset was plugged in so I could have like caught on the clip. Like, but it was.
Should have clipped it and sent it to him. That's what I would have done. But I'm pretty mean person.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was an understandable teabag because, like I said, I shotgunned this dude like the full clip's like 3 times in like 20, 30 seconds. He's like, I've met this one warlock in like 3 encounters and shotgunned him down every time.
Hey, when it comes to teabagging, my clan, EDT, shout out, we have a philosophy. It's, don't teabag, dance exotically, man. Hate me some teabagging. So, it drives me insane. So if you're ever playing me private matches, you really want to get me enraged and get me to chase you around the entire time, just throw a bag on me and then I'll see you in the crucible.
But yeah, so any other picks from, oh my God, everything looks great, but we don't, hilariously, we know so much, but at the same time, we know so little.
I know, and that's the great, there's like, what are we doing right now? We're talking speculation. Like, I love speculation talk. I mean, this is a sports thing, but I mean, like, trade rumors and stuff like that, that's me. Like, I love that kind of crap. It's not even real sports, it's just talking about sports. But the same thing with this kind of stuff. I love the community banter right now. I feel like the community is in a much better place right now. I mean, there's, the salt is definitely going out. But we need a little salt. I mean, people always think, we need a community completely free of salt. No, we need some salt because some of the salt is correct. There is some salt that is well spoken, that is not done by a complete dunderhead. But it's one of those things where, if we don't have it, they're not going to get the criticisms that we had. They're going to think their game is perfect. We're never going to get a good update.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because I still see some people as like, especially on like Twitter and stuff, and finding people in my feed that people are still, I don't want to say salty, but I mean they still have like negative connotations about the summit and like the supposed, as the Bungie labeled, community leaders that they invited. But legitimately, like I said, if you listen to the Crucible Radio interview and hear them talking about like from an actual developer perspective, and then finally listening to how the summit went, like from their perspective, because I mean they're the only ones that can really talk about it, because nobody could talk about what was asked or what was this or what was that. They could just talk about kind of what was talked about. But hear from their perspective exactly how things were talked about and how, like, first and foremost, they expressed what their vision of D2 was and then got everyone's feedback. I mean, this is that culmination. If they hadn't invited like such a wide variety of people, like Forsaken might be one of the best things ever, and we can actually give credit to some of these quote unquote community leaders.
But as a community, we could put our fingerprints all over this, man. Like this is like what we want. This is their best shot or chance or effort to give us what we want, at least in their eyes.
Exactly.
So this is going to be an amazing barometer of where we are on a level as far as a mind level with the community and with Bungie. So this is a big test for them. I mean, this is honestly, in my opinion, this is make or break. This thing better be this. I mean, and look, I love this game, and I'll keep playing. Even if it's broken, I'll play it. And I'm being serious. Like, even if it's broken and everyone hates it, I'm still going to play it because I love the game. It just is what it is. But there's a lot of people that won't if this is bad. Sure. And I don't think it's bad. There's nothing I've seen that's bad. There's nothing. And people want to complain about the whole paying for the season pass thing. Go play COD. Go play another game. You have to pay for content. It just doesn't grow on trees.
I know.
It just is what it is, guys. It's costume business. Sure. If I spend $80 a year on entertainment for, I don't know, 1,000 hours.
I know,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that's okay. It comes down to about 2 cents a freaking an hour. Like, calm down. Like,
Exactly.
it's just to me, that's what that drives me insane. I mean, look, I get it. Money's tight. Trust me. But if you can't do it, you got to pay for the content. I mean, I'm a golf professional. You got to pay me for my lessons, man.
Exactly.
I spend an hour with you. You got to pay me. Like, it's just the way that it's my time. Like, it's their time. That's their job.
Exactly.
That's their job to make this. Like, pay them. Like, you have to. It just is what it is.
Yeah, this is their bread and money. But one thing I was saying, I mean, essentially, like, the proof, because a lot of people are like, oh, Bungie's now listening, which they have been, but the proof that they're listening are the weapon slot changes. If they were just listening to the vocal minority of the people, then we would have D1 slot system back. Just, that was it. That would be it. But it's the fact that it's like, oh, but people do like the D2 slot system. And maybe we can just go crazy and add something different, but they're adding that possibility. It's like, you want to run, like, D1 primary special heavy? Here you go. You want 2 primaries? Here you go. So, I mean, I like this change because of the possibilities that this very simple change can and will entail. Because, I mean, it's just going to be...
Look, they just brought on Mylan.
Yeah, that's true, too.
That is an amazing job on them. I mean, look, I love Bife. I think the guy's great, but you got sometimes a different voice is needed. Sure. and I love that they brought him in and he's taking, because he's kind of he's very informed. He's very well educated. He's well spoken when he says things. He doesn't just splurt. It's well thought out, and it's going to be well thought out criticism. He's not asking for anything. He understands what they're capable of, and he's able to give. I think it's going to be a great addition. Like, I mean, come on, bringing in Mercules alone, like, you won me over. Like, that's like, I know, like, the guy. I love that cast and other massive breakdowns. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. That was a great addition. That's someone who brings well thought out points that can progress the game.
It's like, even if something Mercules says may be driven in salt, he still brings it out in a way that makes you think, at the very least.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I mean, to me, that's valuable feedback. Like, it doesn't matter how or, what drives you to say things. Like, Mercules could be, for certain things, could be like the saltiest individual ever when bringing up some of this stuff. Doesn't matter. Why? Because he puts himself eloquently enough to be, like, centered,
but he
brings
facts.
Evidence. He brings evidence.
Facts. You can't argue it. It's like it's like just like the cast. It's all numbers. Like, when you do the Bird Rock, man, like, that's numbers. They don't lie. That's what when I do fittings for golf, my numbers, and the machine says something. It doesn't lie. It is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can argue. You can't argue with it. The computer doesn't lie. So I absolutely love this, that he's going to have complete sound logic coming into this, and it's a perspective of someone who dedicates many, many, many hours of their own personal time about this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, that, and like I said, Mylan, again, another very centered. Yeah, he's a very centered individual that, again, very eloquently puts, like, his concerns and such into speech. I mean, he's not a salty individual when you talk to him. I mean, or, when you watch his YouTube videos, he has concerns, and they're put about in a way that's not bad. It's like I said, these are all very great additions because they're not people that agree 100% with the way Bungie takes Destiny, but they have, it's just valuable feedback. And that's the thing, because, a lot of people are just like, oh, dead game, this game sucks, this game is horrible. It's not valuable feedback.
You hate for the sake of hating, and there's no progression. It dies. When you say stuff like that, there's no progression. If you're going to come at me with a solution. Like, honestly, like, I hate when people do that. It's criticism to be a dick. Like, really, that's all it is. It's like piling on. And the problem is, none of these guys have the same view. All these guys have the same viewpoint. They all say this. They're just spewing the same crap over and over and over again. And it's toxic, and that's the kind of crap that's stupid, that ruins it. But then you have guys who have legitimate criticism, who bring up legitimate points, numbers to back it up. That's good. You need that. You need that. But you don't need the dumbasses who think they're smart because they're just repeating what someone says. That's what you don't need.
So I was muted this entire time. Fun fact.
Okay, there we go. I was just about to bring up the facts that you've been very quiet and starting to get nervous.
Well, you two are...
I know you like to let people talk, but man, like, you're on this podcast.
Well,
like,
you two are chatty Cathy's, so it's kind of hard.
We were.
Like, I was trying to say something, and then like Gorilla was talking. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll shut the fuck up then. I was just like, wow, I'll just let these motherfuckers talk.
I told you, man. I told you. You brought the piss and vinegar today. Like, I got ammo today, baby. Like, I'm ready to go.
Meanwhile, I'm just unlocking ornaments. I was like, fine, I'll just keep unlocking my ornaments. Fuck you guys. Like I said, when you mentioned the Arc Buddies, I was like, you're my boy, Blue, and no one responded. I'm like, oh, well, fuck you guys.
I responded.
That might have been...
tape. I thought tape. I responded.
That might have been where I muted because I think Pete did something, and I was like, shit! But, I was going to say, what I really like is how they mentioned bounties are coming back. Those are going to be the Baron hunts. Oh, yeah. And I like how they were like, well, one guy's a sniper, so it's going to be a sniper versus sniper fight. And then one guy's a tanky, and then it showed the picture, and it's Kay's hand with the gun, and you can see, like, all the outlines of the Barons, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so fucking fun.
But if the bounties are the Baron...
Like some Trigun shit going on and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, the bounties are coming in 1.2.3.
Oh, that's in July. You're right.
Yeah, so I mean, the bounty... Like, I think the Baron hunts are going to be, like, part of... If not the story, they're going to be, like... Yeah, like, kind of like the... in Taken King, like, when things ended... when the campaign ended once you beat Oryx, but then, like, the other half of the game unlocked, and you still had story missions to do. It's like,
I think they'll throw them on the strikes.
No, I don't think that.
I'm just saying. I had to ask a question.
Yeah,
because it would be a really easy mode. It would be a really...
Yeah.
No, Bungie doesn't want that. I think they're going to be like their own thing.
Knockers may have had them learn that lesson of putting someone in a strike.
I want to bring it up because I should not speak its name because it breaks my heart. They wasted a pivotal character. They wasted it. They just threw him away. They didn't. But that's the song.
Because my argument for that, because I hear people say it and it's like, oh, they wasted. They used him up on this, and it's like, yeah, but this is a guy that unlocked the secrets of resurrection.
I get it. Okay, I 100% get it. But still, I get it. Like, but the thing is, like, so does Omnigul. So what? He's Omnigul. Like, that's in my head. That's what I thought. I go, okay, this is our Omnigul. So it's a long ass.
He wasn't ascended though.
Actually, Omnigul may have been close, considering she was able to unweave her death.
She kept coming back.
She had to be ascended.
Many of people think
because all the Hive princes are ascended. Hive.
Yeah.
She's
a lot of Hive
like
princes.
third in command, right? She'd be the third, fourth command.
Yeah, but I mean but just going from that, it's like because we actually encountered Hive princes in D1 Vanilla with the Sword of Proto side mission,
which is why they keep coming back.
And that's the thing because those were just normal knights, but they're actually, like I said, they are Ascendant Hive. So, I mean, just going by looks and whatever, she was at least Ascendant. That, and I would assume she would have to be in order to be Crota's wife.
Yeah, because you got to be able to come back from that dickin'.
I was just, okay, I'm not the only one who thought that. Got to be able to handle it.
We just got to say, Crota has a huge sword.
Yeah. You got a big one.
Son of a bitch. Oh, man, that's why I love you guys, man.
But, I mean, we didn't kill Nokris in his throne world, so obviously you can come back. And I didn't get this, I didn't catch this, but shout-outs to Handsome Dragon, who pointed out the fact that when we go and fight Nokris, his layer is called the penumbral layer. Or the
Oh,
penumbral cavern.
and that's the third
Penumbra.
freaking expansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Son
That could
of a bitch.
Yeah, that could very well, because I actually
Okay.
know that.
I feel a little bit better now. I
Yeah.
feel a little bit better.
Because there's the penumbral depths in
That's what it
Mars.
was. You're
That
right.
is,
Okay.
and that is, well, like I said, the fact that one of the things is called penumbra. It's like, that seems okay.
Also, also, Black Armory gives me the thought of the Black Spindle.
A lot of people are mentioning that might be, I think it was Anon that might be trying to connect that to Exodus Black and the Exodus program.
They do talk about Exodus Black a lot, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They do.
the fact that there is, mentions of Siva when doing failsafe stuff, because Siva was meant as part of the Exodus system, so Siva is somewhere.
And it's in the lore,
On
too.
the
It's not
Exodus
something
Black.
they're just going to pull out of their ass.
Like I said, it's in the lore, and like I said, failsafe herself
Like,
has mentioned
I
Siva.
like these ideas.
So it's the fact that it could very well be that might be some kind of Siva integrated Exodus Black or something, thing. The only thing I guess we're kind of lost on is Joker's Wild.
Well,
Yeah, because that has to
Because,
be
like,
Kate, right?
what if the guy who runs the Gambit is named Joker,
That,
or he has the code name
that
the
would make
Joker?
So this NPC gets an expansion.
Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, the joke I was going to open up the show with. How about that Summoning of the Nine reveal, guys?
Oh,
I did mention to Gorilla, I'm like, thank God that leak was off. Thank God.
oh God! Trust me,
So-
dude. I saw it. Come on, man. I took the bait on that one, man. But I swear to God, it looked too good to be true. Like I was reading it, I was like, some of the stuff they were talking about, it sounds so cool. Like
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
does.
saying,
It
it sounded really cool.
Like I said, it almost sounded a borderline fanfic, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, this could be like a lot of this is kind of where like the lore and story is pointing. So
That's why exactly. That's why I was like, this sounds just like what they're doing right now. Like, it sounds. That's why, and that's why I went with it, man.
No,
Yeah, I just held, I guess, cautiousness on it because, again, like, people are getting too wise on, like, how leaks work and such and things.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, man, caution is not in my vocabulary. Football player with enough broken fingers and freaking everything else to realize that caution is definitely not my forte. So yeah, I kind of, when I take something, I like to dog running away with a rabbit.
One thing that was kind of true is there is a new army of Fallen. It's just apparently has nothing to do with Uldren.
yeah.
Because again, if Uldren has anything
But
to
they
do with
didn't-
Fallen, it's going to be the Purple Banners, and the Scorn were apparently locked away in Prison of Elders.
Remember what you said. Remember you said they were talking about stuff that was all going to be for people who don't have everything they were talking about. They revealed some stuff,
Yeah,
but they didn't reveal everything.
that's true.
So
That's
there's
true.
a lot of mystery. So that could be a big reveal.
And here's the
what
thing,
I mean?
also,
And that would be sick if they did.
And they-
I would.
they did mention they are revealing the story for E3. Like, at least the basics of the story is going to be revealed at E3.
Oh, good old E3, man.
That's this week.
It was.
The Sony conference is like Monday starting at like 9 Eastern.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. As a person who was at it last year, it's amazing. Like, you go in, it's like you're full of wonder, and you're seeing like Nintendo, and you're seeing Sony, and you're seeing Activision. You're just seeing amazing stuff everywhere. But the problem is, it's like super hands off. Like, you're literally like the line.
Oh,
If you wanted to play D2 last year, it was a 4-hour wait, and that was the only you got on a list. Like, it's not meant for
Your average guy.
Joe Schmo, because and
Exactly.
and it never was open to the public. It never was, and it made more sense that way. Open to the public, I think it made it really chaotic. I enjoyed watching it more on like G4 when G4 was still around. I missed that goddamn channel. when that was around, it was fun, but it's insanity, and it's a bunch of these big name, these AAA companies doing all these kind of crazy stuff, and then it's like drop off, like steep drop off, and it's got a bunch of people who are trying to sell you their wares, and that's really what it is. I mean, I'm dead serious. It's like skyscraper, shantytown. Like that's like, and it's really interesting. But I mean, the little stuff was the most interesting stuff to me. I got to test out some amazing virtual reality stuff that was just if that's where games are going, like it's going to be insane. I'm going to be too old to fully take advantage of all the technology. That's my kids are going to be able to. They're going to be able to kick my ass in virtual, golf or something. But it's going to be amazing. But I mean, just it is. The convention center is completely full. Just to get in the joint, it was a 4-hour wait. Like just standing in line, dealing with the street hot dog vendors in LA. I mean, that's pretty much what you're dealing with the entire time. And you buy a couple, SpongeBob ice creams and stuff like that from you and the wife, and you're standing there in like 90-degree heat because, of course, they had to pick June, and June is like freaking stupid hot here, But it is something that I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went. I'm glad, but I would never, ever do it again.
Also, one thing I've got to say, and mention, and kind of shame on Activision for kind of overhyping Gambit, because this is, like I said, Halo had a game mode very similar to this, where it was like this big boss in the middle. I mean, it's not exactly the same, of course. There are differences. The fact that it's two people fighting in their own spaces against PvE stuff with the capability of 4 points, with the capability of you going over and killing the other team.
But, I mean, in argument to that, there's probably a game that did that before Halo. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough to come up with something completely original when it comes to PvP. There's only so many ways you can kill a person.
That's true. I can't think of any, but that doesn't mean someone out there doesn't know. But I mean, that, and it's almost very similar to, because hilariously, like listening to the interview, which again, I love the compare. Like one thing I've also got from Crucible Radio's interview was when Kevin Yanes or Yanes, when he made mention of exactly like the thought pattern of converting into D2, he made the best analogy that probably over half of this community will not understand, in the fact that to do what they did for D2 was like trying to turn a Marvel vs. Capcom game into Street Fighter. And anyone into fighting games knows that's like ridiculous, because Marvel vs. Capcom has a notorious history of what's called, the one-touch kill, where at high level, if you got touched once, there's a lot of characters, especially in the top tier characters, that you get one successful combo, that's it. That character's gone. It's done. And then Street Fighter, on the other hand, is very more technical and methodical gameplay, because there's usually mechanics that, of course, prevent the one-touch kill, but there's just, like I said, it was a perfect analogy. And the fact that they also all play a lot of Dark Souls, that's what Gambit reminds me of. Of course, the Dark Souls memes of being invaded by another player. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it definitely has those flares to it, and you can definitely tell, like, you can kind of see, like, the things that they do play on their off time, like, being inspiring Gambit. But does look pretty freaking fun. Like it's going to be. Ooh.
Exactly. I like the fact that it's at least something different.
Oh yeah,
and it may get people who are like what they talked about. People who are PvE players. There's people who just don't like PvP. They don't like confrontation. I can't understand it, but that's just that's I mean, me personally, like I said, legalized violence. That's what football was. Give me more. But what's it called? It's going to get those people to come in and try out a little bit of PvP. And you know what? Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe you're like, oh crap, I can kill somebody. I'm not terrible, or you know what I mean. It's a good way of expanding. And then the other way around, you've got guys who are, rumble ponies, guys who sit there and go crazy and just play, freaking, PvP all day. They're going to play a little PvE and go, you know what, maybe I will play a little more. So I think it's a good cross-section to get maybe people to get out of their comfort zone and get into a new part of the game. So I've got a feeling you'll see some good additions to player count. After the initial rush is going to be nuts. It always, especially in an expansion of this size. But I think when things, tend to, slow down, they're not going to be as harsh as they were as D2 originally launched, when there was such a harsh drop-off in player count. I think it's going to really be a nice boost to it because of stuff like that.
It also gives them the opportunity to put more gear in, because what if Gambit has exclusive gear?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
There's definitely going to be more weapons because they're going with the random rolls. Because again, a lot of the complaints is there's not that many weapons, but with random rolls, literally again what they talk about in the interview is the fact that now they're crafting weapons, and they have crafted weapons for these specific things, but now it's like, all right, well, here's this again. So we're definitely going to get an influx of different weapons. They may not be unique because, again, in D1, even though they were different weapons, there were a lot of weapons that had similar stats or similar, perk capabilities as another gun. And so, look at Fatebringer and Imago Loop. They could kind of literally roll the exact same gun, but they were different guns. So they weren't unique, but they were, again, different guns.
Exactly. Yeah, they were... it makes a bunch of different things relevant, and then it begs the discussion of something that's two very close guns that's going to have two people on opposite sides of the argument saying, oh, this one's better because of this one's better because of this. And I like that kind of conversation. It keeps the game fresh. It keeps stuff alive when you have that kind of argument, with god rolls and stuff like that.
Well, that, and I think at least for the argument of random versus fixed, I think Converse had one of the best simple layouts of the argument is the fact that random rolls are frustrating and fixed rolls are boring. And that's the negatives of both.
Yeah. That's
about it, because random rolls can be frustrating as crap if your RNG is crap. But fixed rolls, it doesn't put that much of importance on loot, whereas random rolls does put importance on loot, but then loot becomes frustrating because you're not getting the roll you want. So it's a horrible cycle, but there are pros and cons to each, and the
thing is with fixed gets boring so fast, and it becomes, you're not even looking at the gun, you're just looking at you're looking at the light level. I don't look at. I know all the guns right now. I know every single gun. I can tell you. I'm not saying I know every perk, but for the ones I use, for the guns I use, I know all the perks, and I know what I want to use on them. So why not? If you give me a little bit of randomization, it's going to give me a little more investment, like we were talking about. It's going to give me a little more time investment with that gun. I'm looking at that gun. I'm paying more than the 5 seconds to look at the light level on it. I'm actually looking and investigating the gun. And then who knows, maybe I'll see a little, lore or something attached to it. Just something. It gets you to go a little bit deeper than you originally were, which is good. I like it. And I get fixed rolls because it makes balancing, it makes stuff like that, everything easier. Look, I get it. There's a lot of great things with fixed rolls, but give me that thing to chase. Give it to me.
In the end, though, because here's the thing about one part of the argument, a lot of people don't see, is regardless of whether it's fixed or random rolls, there's a point in time where the drops become trivial. For fixed rolls, it becomes when you get the gun one time. After you get that gun one time, you know what that gun is, so you don't have to pay attention to it. But for random rolls, sure, you might play around with some of the rolls, but at the same time, once that mindset gets in, it's all right, I'm looking for this roll. And then all of a sudden the loot becomes trivial because it's well, that's not the roll I'm looking for, bye. That's not the roll I'm looking for, bye. So,
but the thing is, what comes faster, though? Getting the light level up on the gun, or getting a god roll on every gun that you want. You know what I mean? I still don't have a god roll IS Luna, and I still don't have a god roll Matador. I played that game more than most. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I mean, there's maybe something you don't get, and it may be frustrating, but guess what? I kind of enjoy the fact that I didn't get it. Well, it's a good story to tell. I'm talking about it right now. I don't talk about any other video game that I played, a year and a half ago or a year ago. I don't know. I like it.
I mean, I just really hope I get my Winter Wolf before random rolls come out, because if I get it and it's like, oh, it's a random roll, I'm like, fuck it.
Well,
make it work.
I'm guessing
like the worst roll in the planet.
Well, that one thing is, I'm guessing, like, considering the drop of Winter Wolf, it's like of course we're still going to have things that have fixed rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Because in Bungie, there's never been a point in time where everything has been random rolls.
Because I think vendors are coming back. They're coming back.
They should, but we also don't know that for sure.
I really think so. If they're going to do it, they got it.
Well, I mean, investment in grinding. Like, if you don't have access to...
But they are creatures of habit.
They are.
They're creatures of habit. So, I mean, it would be... I mean, look. I mean, we were talking about the supers. The super motions, I mean, really, they were there on other characters. So, I mean, it's an easy thing to go, you know what? We already have blueprint from D1. Look at, the vendors. We already have this formula set up of what they're going to sell and the roles they're going to have. Let's just plug and play.
Yeah. Crap. What was I going to say?
Faction rallies. I don't know if you were going to say that, but that's just something I was going to... That's just, I had that in the pocket, because that's...
Well, because we still haven't made it through all this TWAB. But the last thing on the TWAB that I really want to cover is the Crucible Labs, because that's been kind of a hot topic. But they do clarify their goal with Crucible Labs, like super... Of course, again, you listen to the interview, you understand, like, you can listen, like, to their pains of not being able to test Sandbox in Crucible Labs. So stop it. But anywho, one thing that they're wanting to do with Crucible Labs, like, this is a huge paragraph in the TWAB. I definitely suggest reading it. But of course, the TLDR is basically they're looking to bring us into the playtesting portion of trying a game mode, so that way it can be released a little more polished without changes, essentially.
That's big.
Exactly. So, of course, they opened it up with a safe thing, Showdown, which they've already had, like, experience with Crimson Days and Doubles, and that's essentially what it is. So it was a very safe initial burst. But here's the thing that's very important that they do say is, like, in general, expect that any mode that deploys in labs, 1, has no concrete timeline or schedule. 2, must not interfere with must-ship features and updates, i.e. the summer update and Forsaken labs modes are in addition to features you're already scheduled to receive. So the new Crucible game mode coming in Forsaken is not going to be Showdown.
Yeah, but people don't... I hope people understand that. It takes a while to put something like that into a game. Like, something that's not there currently, that they don't really have a blueprint for, to put that in, that takes time. That takes time, and I hope people understand that if they do something, it's probably going to be 2-3 expansions away.
I mean, it should be. But like I said, it's like point 3 is that it can be iterated on semi-public setting, which, again, Sandbox Champions just can't. Number 4, can succeed and be polished for a full release in a playlist or rotator, or the last point is can fail and never be seen again.
Yep.
So there's no promises that Showdown will even come back if it has enough negative feedback. They might scrap it and try it again. So, I mean, it's just them seeing how we like a game mode before they say, here's a game mode.
We are doing a baby version of what Playtester does.
I mean, like, this is
the most baby of baby.
Yeah, this is essentially true beta testing.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially. And of course, there's a bunch of like, the update 1.2.1.1 fixed Nightfall unique rewards. They're looking to reschedule the Tree of Probabilities, so that way you can grind your DFA.
Oh my god, I need that gun.
And of course, there are issues that they have been identified that they know about. These is some faction rally ornaments cannot progress when completing the lost sector on Mercury. Ornaments requiring players to defeat Hive with melee abilities sometimes don't progress. This is most commonly occurs on the Arcstrider subclass Way of the Wind, so be careful with that. And those are their known ornaments right now, or issued ornaments, Jesus, issues right now. And also check out the movie of the week, Ra Ra Rasputin, because the animation is hilarious and has a Dr. Lupo hunter dancing around very crazily with shacks. Yep. It is kind of funny. All right, so that's the freaking TWAB. Jesus.
An hour and 59 minutes in.
Yeah,
this is what happens when you go to RNG.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. You bring me anywhere, I'll talk until you literally tell me to stop.
But anyway, so yeah, that's, like I said, that's what we know about Forsaken. Which, like I said, in the end, isn't really a lot. But Faction Rallies, as Buster said, has re-released. We have talked a bit about it.
Well, yeah, we kind of RNG'd into it, and then we were like, wait, we gotta do other things.
Yeah, we glossed over. But so yeah, Faction Rallies have hit. Your pledges basically are super important because account-wide, you can't triple dip, which I kind of like. What I like with the progression system, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter considering. Okay, here's the thing, because I've seen a lot of confusion on this on Twitter as well. When you make a pledge, your progression of the rank of that faction is shared across the account. Mm-hmm. So if you hit rank 24 on one character, all characters have access to, or I'll say rank 25, but all characters have access to the rank 25 reward so long as it's unlocked. Like,
yeah, they did that with Iron Banner.
Yeah, they did that too, but like I said, I have seen some people saying, like, questioning if anything was shared for faction rallies, and that's definitely shared. Your seasonal progression is shared. What isn't shared is ornaments. Ornament unlock progression is now based upon whatever character or whatever class you have that's different.
Yeah.
So it's no longer, this ornament unlocks ornaments for this armor, and this armor. No, it unlocks for one specific class of armor. Mm-hmm. So Titans can only unlock Titan ornaments. Hunters can only unlock the Hunter ornaments.
Yep.
And bravo on that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that is good.
That is a good change. It does require you to do more grind, but like I said, it actually also gives you. It kind of gives you something to do. It fills the gap between the dailies, because like you do your dailies, you get that done, then you can work on ornaments, and that actually closes the gap of your rank even more when you're working on ornaments. Mm-hmm. So that way, at the end, you only need like 10, 11 ranks. If all you're doing is dailies and ornament work, at the end of all that, you only need 11 extra ranks.
Yeah,
at the end of all that, which
it's not
like
crazy.
Said, yeah, breaking it down like that, it actually makes it pretty good, in my opinion. Like yeah, it's a hefty grind, but like I said, they at least give you some, like, separating the ornaments like that. At least gives you a goal to where you're not just blind grinding. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll have to blind grind, like I said, at least like 10 ranks, but that's a fifth of your grinding. Like, literally, considering there's 50 ranks. I mean,
when I got the finally, the last thing that dropped for me was my chest piece for my warlock, and I looked at what I needed to do, and it was like, do patrols on the EDZ, and I was like, oh, and the best part about it is it's retroactive. Even though you don't have the armor, nice. It counts. Because I had it was for the arms, it was kill scions, and I had like 19% already done. So I was like, cool.
Yeah, because Yeah, there are ornaments that do require full armor, but not all ornaments require full armor. So yeah, those still track regardless of if you're even wearing armor, which also, FYI, you want to wear a full set of armor as often as possible. Why? You get an extra rank of renown. Like doing a public event gives you 2 ranks of renown. But if you're wearing full armor, no wait, or is it like 3? Crap.
It gives you 3.
Public event gives you 3.
Yeah, so it gives you 3. Oops. But if you're wearing a full set of armor, it'll give you 4 stacks of renown instead of 3.
Patrol.
Which
And
is
if you do,
even though I hate Dead Orb armor.
and patrols will give you 2 ranks of renown instead of 1. I believe the same is for high value targets as well, because high value targets, watch out looting a high value target chest when you're trying to start a patrol or a public event, because that might screw you over and you realize you have a stack of renown.
Yeah, high value targets give 3 with a full suit of armor.
3?
3.
I don't remember getting 1.
I mean, it might have been. I also did a patrol at the same time. That might have been what it is, because you can stack them.
That is true. That is true.
Also,
I was just gonna say, I only think you get 1.
Also, try not to die at the very end of a public event.
Oh God!
Because once you res yourself, okay. Here's the thing: when you die, you lose a stack of renown. When you complete a public event and get your stacks, and then you revive, it kind of counts that as dying, so you lose a stack of renown. So try not to die at the very end of a public event.
Oh yeah, but I like that mechanic. I like the fact that the more renown you get, the harder it gets. Because I don't know about you guys, but you go rank 5 into a lost sector, those mother effers are out for blood.
They are.
They're like not messing around. Like they will keep shooting at you. The snipers, especially, man. Oof.
Oh yeah.
But on the
they will.
It was freaking ridiculous because there's actually a time because I've used like certain like lost sectors, not because I like planned it that way, but hilariously it would turn out like doing it on Nessus for Future War Cult for Vex kills, and there's a lot of Vex on Nessus, so I'd end up doing a public event and going to this one lost sector over and over again. Well, on this one lost sector, there's like a sniper on the other end. So here I am going in sometimes with full stack of renown. All of a sudden, that son of a gun just pegs me, and I go to jump in, pegs in and kills me. So now I have to go back out, do a patrol, regain that last stack of renown I lost, and then try and go back in.
Oh yeah, it's dude. But I don't remember getting angry at a patrol like I do. Like I get angry at playing like Crucible or something like that. Never get angry at it. When I die, when I have 5 renown and I'm going in, my soul, it goes away. Oh my God, it kills me.
Especially when you're right there at the boss. And it's like, all right, I got you. I'm dead.
I got you beat. I was for the new monarchy. It's EDZ based. I was at the Winding Cove, and I did the public event. Got my 5th stack of renown. Jumped down.
Did you die from the drop?
I jumped down into the fucking wheat and killed myself. And I'm like, how? How'd that happen? What happened? Oh, well, hold on. I'll tell you. I got a high value target right here. I can tell you what it gives.
Okay. But yeah, I've seen people do that, and it's like, oh God, I hope you didn't have renown. Mm-hmm. Because hilariously, even though they said, like Bungie says, like, oh, you'll be able to see, it's like you don't actually see Blueberry's renown when they gain it. At least I don't.
I don't see anything. I love the fact that you get the little mini buddies on your back. I like those.
That's right.
Those are cool.
It's 2 with a full set. So yeah, it's 1 normally.
But so it's not as in like the glowing renown isn't as intrusive as I thought it'd be. So I'm guessing it shows like if you have a fire team or like who your fire team is pledged to. But yeah, it doesn't do it for blueberries. So that's actually pretty cool because I could have sworn you were going to be able to see like freaking faction logos everywhere in the wild, which might have been a memory nightmare for consoles.
But I also, I was going to say adding all that extra stuff. But I did like what they did at the tower. The tower looks amazing. Oh
yeah, the tower. The fact that they put the new banners and stuff, they actually remodeled that. Is like
it looks the way I thought it was supposed to look.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. But yeah, faction round. Like I said, I love the fact that they chose to focus on any aspect of the game. And the part that they chose to focus on was also just happens to be that one part that people complain is like, oh, but there's no reason to do lost sectors anymore. It's like, well, at least when faction rallies are up, here you go.
For the 100 chest piece, it's open chests in EDZ. So I'm like, well, looks like I'm doing.
That's a freebie.
Which is freaking super easy. You just throw on Night Stalker and use King Scout. There you go.
That's what I did. I put on Night Stalker and ran King Scout, and then I pop I put on a ghost that marks. Because typically, if you see I was going to say spin metal. Jesus Christ! If you see dust shards,
he's so scarred from grinding it. He still says it.
I realize how good I am at. I realize my old habits die hard.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you gotta do patrols. Oh, thank you. I will do patrols. Paw patrols.
Yeah, I've been flopping between like power and heavy so much, and light and power. And it's like, terminologies. But yeah, like I said, I'm really enjoying these faction rallies just because one thing I like, but I don't like is like I feel I have to play.
Yeah.
I like to hit rank 50 because I want these like catalysts and crap, and it's like I have to play.
Good.
That's the other side. So people wanted to have content. Well, here's your grind. Here's your move. The problem is now there's a good and a bad with everything. There's no perfect solution.
Sure.
So it's one of those things where, I trust me, I feel the same way you do. I'm like, God damn it, I gotta go grind. I feel like it's like a job on top of my job, which is funny. I mean, it's just the way it is. But as a hobby, it's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but, and it's like this faction round is definitely giving me that feeling though. Again, it's like, well, it's like, you know what? Screw laying in bed for a couple hours to chill out after work. I have to get my dailies done.
I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to fall behind. I want to be as good as I can be, as quickly as I can be, and that's really what grinding is.
Exactly. I mean, and that's it, because I haven't felt that way since like old school D1, and it's like, and it's the fact because, especially with the busy season starting to kick up for my work. It's like I'll get home 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I'll take my shower. I'll lay in bed, fall asleep around midnight, and then wake up at like 8 o'clock and go to work and do it all again. Now I'm playing Destiny till 11:30 at midnight, then going to sleep. So I mean,
that's the life of a gamer, man.
It is.
Like the old meme, and it's like love life, like sleep, job, eating. And like you got to take one of them out because there's not enough room for gaming. Exactly. So you just got to be able to take sleep. Sleep is the one that comes out because you're going to start because you would take something else out, but you'd probably die if you didn't have the other stuff. So or you'd starve to death without a job. So you got to take the one thing out that's manageable, and that's sleep.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it hasn't really cut into my necessary sleep. Still, it's just like I said, I just don't have that. Laying in bed, lazy, relaxing time to prepare for sleep. Now I'm going to bed and having to fall asleep immediately. But like I said, it hasn't negatively impacted me yet. But still, like it's giving me that feeling. It's like, well, yep, I'm sitting in this chair for 2 hours before bedtime.
For me, I can always get my 4 hours of sleep. That's how I look at it. I can always get a solid 4, and all I need is 4.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, I can do this. So I'm the same way, Des. Like, I would be getting off at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, I mean, I'm already up.
Exactly.
So, and like, the way I think of it is a normal person gets off work. If you do a 9 to 5, you get off work at 5. You don't go to bed at 7 p.m.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Right?
I think it's hilarious that people do have that connotation that third shift people just get off work and go immediately to sleep. It's like, that's not how that works.
No, let me just tell you, my circadian rhythm is fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
My circadian rhythm is tore up from the floor up, my friend. But
I'm the same way.
But yeah, so it's, like I said, this is giving me that grind feel again. And like I've said, it's not even a harsh grind.
It's not, like said, and it's a fun grind, but it's still a grind nonetheless.
And it's still a challenging grind too, like to get max stacks and to get the max rewards. Like that's I mean it's not a harsh grind. to be honest.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Remember, like there were some D1 grinds
Exotic
that
Sword.
were just
ungodly.
Unbearable to get the void. I mean, trying to get freaking what's it called? The void kills. The void kills for what? Thorn, right? Was it Thorn that had the void kills?
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! Remember in Crucible, you had to like be running. You had to run Atheon's epilogue and stuff like that. You had to do crazy crap and just get murked in Crucible, and you knew your KD was going to plummet, but you had to get that damn gun, otherwise you weren't going to be good. Like, but that's the point. Well, I just said it right there. If you didn't have that, you were. I know Buster, you're Mr. Otter. I feel like get it, but if you wanted full like be top level PvP, you were using Thorn or Last Word, so you had to go chase it, man. And the same thing if you want to be top level, you got to get these exotics. The what's it called? The
catalyst. Yeah.
You got to get the catalyst.
At least, at the very least, like considering two like semi-meta weapons. I mean, well, one very meta weapon and then one semi-meta are the prizes for rank 50. Because Sunshot has seen its time as kind of an off-ish meta weapon for, oodles and boodles.
Console. PC, it's like OP, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's just hand cannons in general are apparently OP on PC because of the aiming features. But yeah, and the fact that it's like, and then I read the catalyst and what is that about? It's like, oh, here's 30 range and 20 stability. What?
That's so much.
That's so much range and stability. It changes it into a completely different gun. It's so much. That's why I want to get it. I want to play with it. I want to see how it feels because, Graviton Lance, which is the meta weapon right now alongside Vigilance Wing, that's extra aim assist. It's hidden hand. Okay, cool. I know what that does. Sunshot is going to be like a completely different feeling weapon. Graviton Lance is just going to feel a little better.
Stickier. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to feel a little sticky, and you're going to get that that last headshot when you're about to duck away from a corner kind of thing. Yeah. And you pull the trigger the last shot, and you're going to get that extra little aim assist. You're going to get that headshot. Exactly. So I mean, it's nice.
Oh, it is nice.
Nice, but it's not like it's like that changes that 30 and 20 you said, right? It was a 30 and 20. I mean, that's big.
That's like Darcy. Yeah, if you masterwork Darcy becomes, because again, like I guess risk reward of Darcy used to be the fact that at least for boss damage, the fact that it kicked so hard you'd have to reacquire your target. Once you masterwork it, thing's a freaking laser. You can pull off like 4 shots before you have to reacquire a target if you're not actually correcting the aim. So that's ridiculous.
Borealis masterwork reloads on a dime. It's just the fastest. It's so fast.
And that's like the mechanic to switch its elements, so it's doing that faster. So I mean, I like the fact. Can I just say I love the catalysts?
I
like all of them. Really,
100% with you.
Because even though Sweet Business doesn't really have super great catalysts, it's like, oh, while you're firing, you don't flinch as much, which sounds underwhelming, but at the same time,
until you realize
that thing's going to hit like a truck, and you're going to shoot at them, and they're still going to hit you like a truck, like on the head. So,
and if you're standing in the powering rift, you're going to hit like a bigger truck while reloading, because I'm going to throw an Atheon War Rig. You got to be insane to think I'm not going to run Atheon War Rig the second I unlock this goddamn thing. But have you guys seen the new shaders?
Oh my god, dude! Okay, I'm not going to talk about the shader, but the ornaments. Because since the seasonal ornaments always mimic the current seasonal shader, but I gotta say I love the freaking color palette for Future Workhold, and the fact that they've actually went with this really almost deepish purple, like oh my god, it looks so good, and the fact that the Titans are like white and purple, it almost looks like the raid gear, and it's just like. Yes,
it's really cool. Unfortunately, I've got the short end. I've got the short end of the stick with the old Dead Orbit. It's black and more black, and then I put eyeliner on, and then I listen to some 80s, 80s music, and be depressed because that's what we do. But exactly. Hey. Listen to a little Cure, and then I get my Graviton Lance, and it shoots purple like my heart. It's that's kind of the whole thing.
But now you've added a splash of lime green.
It's still, yeah. So it looks like
they did.
Yeah, they've added like lime green to the color palette.
Guess what? If you throw a little green lime into like a giant thing of black, the black still takes over.
That's true.
My full warlock armor I've got on right now makes me look like a homeless person. I'm just being real. I hate the way it looks because I'm all for aesthetics. I love, like, honestly, New Monarchy. I'm a 49er fan. Love New Monarchy colors. Go Niners. That's the way it works. But I love. I know, man. I know. I keep bringing it in. I'm sorry. What's it called? It's one of these things where I was so torn, and which was good. I liked the fact that I was torn. I liked the fact that I was like, damn it, I want to go New Marcus, I want the shaders, I want that kind of stuff, but do I want to go meta? Do I want to be competitive, at least for the playstyle that I am using this gun? It made a choice, and I liked that. I liked that there's a choice, because in previous times it was like, okay, everyone go on this one, everyone go on this one, everyone go on this one, and it was just over with. It was done with, you know what I mean?
Also, legitimately, even though I've even said on cast, like, of course my first choice was going to be Future War Cult, and it did end up being Future War Cult. On the day of choosing, I was torn. I came so close to pledging Dead Orbit. Again, for the meta. For the weapon that everyone's using, it's like, do I really want to get Future War Cult out of the way and try out the Sunshot, or do I want a better meta weapon?
I'm going to be super honest here. This is like secret time with Buster Knuckle. I was about 3 seconds away from hitting Future War Cult. Because that that sidearm that they have.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
Oh my goodness, it looks nasty, and I'm like, man, ooh.
Yeah, it's it was a choice though. Like I still ended up going Future War Cult, but because I guess muscle memory kind of took over, and it just happened. So I like stopped thinking for a second. I was like considering my options, and then my body just kind of like, nope, you're Future War Cult. And it's like, oh, okay, all right, cool, that happened. So
you just didn't want to feel dirty after your decision. You didn't have to go take a shower after you chose, Dead Orbit. So that's why you chose the old Future War Cult.
Well, like I said, they're definitely going to be my second choice, because even though I do want, like, especially I want to, like, I've seen the Hunter gear for New Monarchy, and knowing that I did unlock all the Season 2 stuff. Like, and that was like account wide. So as soon as I get these armor pieces for all my characters, I'm going to at least be able to use the Season 2 ornaments, which, like I said, I did not realize how good the Season 2 ornaments looked on a Titan. Oh, and even a Warlock. Like, oh my god, they look super good. But,
artistically, this has been an amazing update. Like, with all the new stuff, like, people don't ever appreciate that kind of stuff, but that took a lot of time for someone to do. Like, the artistic stuff of it is amazing. It really looks. Some of the stuff just looks. I mean, especially the Iron Banner gear, I thought looked really cool. The whole Shredder thing, I know people were making fun of it, but that still looks cool to me. It's different. I like that, and I think that's one thing that never gets brought up that they definitely deserve credit for.
For sure. Because I mean that's the whole thing. But I mean, it looks super good. Also, for the Forsaken reveal, we finally find out what High Moon's been working on. Mm-hmm. Considering at least, I don't know how many people noticed, but at least 2 of the people in the Forsaken Vidoc were High Moon employees.
Yep.
So, yeah, we finally figured out what High Moon... Because we know they did some armor, and then it's like, so we know they have a partnership. What else are they going to work on? Well, at least for now, they worked on Forsaken.
Yeah,
which is probably kind of like what Vicarious... Which, I know... I mean...
Didn't Vicarious do Raid Lair, or am I mistaken?
You see, that's the thing, because I think that stuff is still control of Bungie.
Mm-hmm. Is it? I see. That's what I don't remember. Like, nothing stands out.
I think
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not thinking about it right now. But
yeah, I think what Vicarious, like I said, this is me thinking, because that's the thing. Because even the PC port that Vicarious worked on was still headed off by a Bungie employee. So it was still in Bungie's control. But I think what Vicarious and High Moon are kind of more responsible for, instead of like coming up with stuff, is just more of helping them implement what Bungie is coming up with. And maybe having some feedback and ideas to help. Because that's kind of how Bungie works, is kind of like a flat, more of a flat, landscape, and people working together hand in hand and coming up with ideas and stuff. Because there's very rarely a thing that comes out that's like, oh, this is all the Crucible team's work. I mean, Kevin Yanis even mentioned in again, in this interview, it's like the ranked system came together after the Sandbox team came up with Redrix's Claymore and came up with that as a reward. So the entire ranked system kind of came together with Redrix's Claymore as the crown jewel. So, yes,
I have a guy in my clan who just got his.
Nice. But, so yeah, so the fact that that's implemented and it's a Crucible, that's a Crucible team thing, it was still headed off thanks to someone from Sandbox team. So, I mean, it's, so I don't know exactly, how much responsible, High Moon and Vicarious Visions are responsible for anything, but at the very least I know that they do, I guess from a business perspective, help with like 3D modeling and 3D, the actual implementation of this stuff into the game. At a minimum.
They do a lot of helping.
Exactly. Like, they're basically the helping hands to make Bungie feel like an even bigger studio, essentially. Which is actually what's super required, because like I've said before, in an MMO, because, Destiny has that aspiration at the very least, is to be somewhat like an MMO with constant content coming out.
Yeah.
But the only way an MMO does that is with like 4 or 5 different development teams in a studio. I think WoW has like 5 or 6 different dev teams working on WoW, like for different reasons. So they basically kind of help Bungie feel like that kind of a studio. So hopefully, like I said, like with that and with Bungie's growth, it just becomes, I mean, that and come on, we're coming out with a comment that has 3 what sound like, an expansion that's coming out with 3 more like expansion-like content drops. There's definitely some help there. Because, I mean, come on.
Bungie's good. They're not that good, though.
It's seriously. I mean, and this is the thing. It's like coming out with Taken King and then having another like Dark Below and House of Wolves coming out inside of Taken King is kind of what this sounds like. I could be proven entirely wrong, but that's what it sounds like.
Which is interesting. Oh, wait. Okay. So I guess we are recording now. Okay. It didn't give me the tone start because, as we said in this very episode, what can go wrong will go wrong. And you will notice that GorillaGolf is not here. We did a whole, 20 minutes after Pete unplugged something and I screamed that we talked about a bunch of stuff. And then GorillaGolf complimented us by saying that we are his podcast and we're his guys. And then he had to go because he had to go to work. So, Gorilla, when you hear this and you realize that it's not here, it's because what can go wrong will go wrong and is going wrong as we speak because now the recorder is bonking again. This is weird. This is fucking strange, man. I don't know what's going on.
I know, right?
Oh, no, now it caught up. Weird how this just happens with us, right?
I know, right?
So,
like, holy crap.
We were talking about weapons. You were talking about how dope, how some of the dead orbit ones are okay. And then I went to the tower to try to see what to grab the new Monarchy weapons again. That way I can run around and play with them because they're on my Titan and I'm on my Hunter right now. And then all hell broke loose. Like, all the hell broke loose at one time.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. RNGCast. I swear to God that I'm gonna do that. That will be, that's a joke, ha ha ha, but it's serious as shit too. Like,
it's definitely our secondary tagline.
Yeah. It might be the title of this episode. Jesus fucking Christ.
Seems legit.
Yeah, right. But I mean, before the evilness attacks us again, do you have any closing statements, guys? I know you had a couple questions in Discord. We'll get to them next week, I promise. We'll just have a longer listener or revolutionary ideas segment. Hopefully, we won't be getting attacked by random spikes of Murphy's Law.
I know, right?
Officer Murphy, you broke the law.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think your dog can jump on your TV and bite it and break it? Wrong. Wrong. So, Des, do you have any closing thoughts on this faction rally? How about that? Well, that's how we'll close out.
All in all, which I may have said on recording, it may have been lost to the recesses of time. Mm-hmm. I'm really enjoying. I've really enjoyed what they've done with faction rallies. This is a massive step in a really cool direction on making like the grind matter and making like play time important again. All in all, it's like it might be slightly aggravating to try and balance your time and lose a little bit of relaxation time and sleep for work, but all in all, it feels pretty good. Like I said, it's not, even though you still get that feeling of, you know, oh crap, I got to play in order to get progress, or else I'm going to be completely boned and not get these catalysts. It still feels relative. It definitely feels way better than like a lot of the D1 grinds, though. So I mean, it's hitting that point where, yeah, I'm sacrificing time, but I'm not like. It's not like a regretful action so much. Mm-hmm. That I don't feel.
Yeah, for me, I like the renown system. The renown system is really cool. It's a nice little, oh, you want things to be harder. Okay, here you go, but you get rewarded. Risk versus reward is definitely a thing. I've had a few instances where I was just up at night solo grinding, getting, you know, the dailies done, and I would get a fire team request by the random in the same instance as me. And I would hop in, you know, I would send him a message, I would join in, and he would send me a message, and I'd just be like, I'm off mic because, you know, it's 3 a.m., it's 6 a.m. here. And he'd be like, cool, we're just doing laps. That's all we did was just do laps. And, it was, you know, that's the thing about Destiny that happens a lot, but it doesn't happen a lot, if that makes sense. You know? Sometimes you'll get random invites from people in the tower, and you're like, "Who is this weirdo?" But when you're doing something, you're like, "Okay, I get what you're doing now." So that was one thing. I do like how it's split between different. Each class has a different grind for the ornaments.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's really fucking cool to me.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that definitely helps, like, bridge that gap of, like, it feels necessary, but at the same time, you're still doing something that's working towards a goal, so there's not a lot of, like, just dry grinding, it feels.
Mm-hmm. It's you know, it helps.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And everything is direct buy. There's no, like, winners, which is weird.
I mean, yeah, there's the winners thing, but, like, yeah, most of the new stuff that they've added is, like, in this new progression system that they've started, which still feels good.
Yeah, agreed. And get out there and play. That's what they want you to do. Get out there and play and be vocal. Don't be disrespectful, but be vocal.
Exactly. I mean, as we've said, which is probably definitely one part that they got, you know, lost to the recesses, but give information. Like I said, regardless of the context of mind, like, rather than just it sucks or it's great, even, like, that's another thing that's something we need to be wary about. Don't just say it's great. Don't just say it sucks. Give reasoning. Give what, you know, go to Twitter, at Bungie on the things that you, or go to Reddit, go to the forums and tell them, you know, I like this because of blank. This sucks because of blank. I would like it better because of blank. Fill in those blanks with your thoughts, and that way it gives. Because, like, as we've said, you know, the summit or Forsaken is basically the culmination of information that they've gained through feedback for D2 and the summit, which the summit had a lot of different voices, regardless of whether you like those people or not. There were a lot of differing voices in the community at one point in time.
Yeah.
And this is that culmination. So if you think it's awesome, this is what information garners, is these types of changes. So, I mean, definitely give that, you know, well, this is great because of this. Always think of that because of, and then fill in your thoughts.
It's a good way to end this, Des. a better way to end this would be tell everybody where they can find you and your musings.
I know, right? Well, my rare musings and such can be found, of course, at DES_Raven, where, of course, I tweet out about progress to the Featherstone, Bird Rock, whichever you would like to refer it as. The side project of the Raven Report might be put on hold thanks to information on random rolls and weapon slot changes, so that might be something that's shelved at least until the September release, and once we get a feel of how the new weapon slot changes and stuff load out. Of course, I'm still going to have like it's just it's a big project that does take some tinkering, but because of these changes and how they work, I'm just going to shelf it for now and see if it's going to be possible in the new environment of Year 2 D2.
Yeah. Seems like it's probably the best idea for you because
I know, right?
Banging your head against the rock, as it were, would just be horrible, you know?
It would be frustrating to like finally narrow down the report in a really good place, and then like 2 weeks later, everything's screwed over because everything is changing. That would be the worst. So I'm just going to go ahead and shelf it, write it off as basically a failed project, at least for public use, and just I'll see if it's possible in the new environment.
Yeah. It's just...
At least possible for me. I mean...
Yeah, and like you said, it might not be, but it's something that you did, you know what I'm saying? And it still was... It's still useful at this moment in time.
In fact, I might just take the rough, like my secondary rough draft, and post it on Twitter and just see what people think about it. Because, like I said, it's not going to... This is as finished as it's going to be, basically.
Yeah.
Is how it is now, like, because the next iteration might be an entirely different iteration, so I might release this. Which also, hilariously, on that note, I actually found my first iteration of Spreadsheet.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. It's actually in my Google Drive. One of these days, I might actually share it and just show people like what I originally did before I found out the gloriousness of like shortcuts and the color, like actually setting the spreadsheet to do the color gradients itself rather than doing it myself.
Yeah.
So I might actually do that one of these days.
Rather than throwing my head against the rock, I will make it easier for myself. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah, it's cool to go back and look at it and like remember the pain and torment I went through and put myself through to do this, and then, like I said, everything I've learned since then.
Yeah. Also, we got Jurassic Park coming.
Which, hilariously, as I mentioned it, because I mentioned it last week, after that recording, I told my wife and showed, hilarious story, but I told my wife about the game. And I went to show her the trailer of it, like that you can see on the PlayStation Store. And I was like super excited to show her, and she looks at me and is like, "Why are you so excited? It can't be that good." Like, you don't want to make that bet.
You want to bet?
It's like, you don't want to make that bet. I wouldn't even let her make that bet. And she had this like smug look like, yeah, right. So I showed her the trailer and gave her a rundown of it, and she's like, "I'm glad I didn't make that bet." Mm-hmm. Because that's amazing. And she went out shopping. She picked up a couple of PSN cards. I now have it pre-ordered.
Nice.
As of like 2 hours after recording, it is now pre-ordered.
Did you get a bonus at all, or is it just it's downloaded?
Well, you get like a choice of 4 different like avatars. Okay. For a pre-order bonus, which
that explains it.
Exactly. If you wonder why, for the first time in like 6 years, my PlayStation avatar changed from Scorpion to the Jurassic World logo, that's why.
I wondered that when I last logged on, because I was like, what? Is that new? That's new.
Yes, that is actually the first time I've like legitimately since I pre-ordered Mortal Kombat 9. So that was in 2012. That's when I had Scorpion as my avatar and just left it that way. So my avatar had not changed since 2012. And now it has again. And it's like, yep, I like this. Staying.
And done. Yeah, I watched, there's there's an interview with the game designer and the game director, and it's from like I think GameSpot, I believe. It's like a UK
Probably.
it's like a UK game site.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Can you give us any clues, any hints?" And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be aquatic DLC."
Nice.
And I'm like,
I was hoping for DLC.
And I'm like, "Well, you just got mad. If you didn't have me then, you have me now."
I know, right? Because it just looks amazing. It looks awesome. Because it's, Zoo Tycoon, but it's officially Jurassic Park. It's an official run your own. I keep saying Jurassic Park because that's what I know it as. So, deal with it. But yeah, it's going to be amazing, and it's like
Dr. Ian Malcolm,
uh,
Jeff Goldblum does a voice for this game.
fantastic, and it releases
2 weeks?
June. Might be less than that, legitimately.
Right before the movie?
I know it's sometime in June, because when I pre-ordered it last week, it was 9 days.
Oh, so it might be next weekend.
Yeah, it might. If PlayStation can actually work with me and work a little faster, because like I said, I have the countdown timer. Because once you pre-order through PlayStation, you get a countdown timer on how long until it releases. Come on. Load a little faster, and the countdown timer's broken. Nice. Wait, can I just... Oh, no, wait. Oh, no. Yeah, my entire PlayStation Store is free. Fantastic. But either way, it's June 12th.
Okay, yeah, so 10 days before the movie comes out.
So it's this Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's going to be out this Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like I said, had to pre-order it because hilariously, my wife's like, "You're going to play that, and I'm going to watch you." And even my mother-in-law was like, "I'm going to watch that." And it's like, okay, this is a person that like has no interest in video games beyond like Tetris and Bejeweled. She's like, "I'll watch that." And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Oh no, my entire PlayStation froze. Nice. Anyway,
What can go wrong will go wrong. RNGCast.
I know, right? But at least it froze on the on the release date information.
Well, that's useful.
But yeah, so that's going to be an amazing game, and it's it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Especially if you could look at other people's parks eventually.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That might be a game to stream. That's definitely a game to stream.
I know, right? Just chill out and relax and build a park, and that definitely has like the Tycoon game. Ooh, wow, the Tycoon games do have like that viewer interaction possibility.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, you should do this, or this would be cool, and I can get really cool ideas from like a like a little community. That would be really awesome. But yeah, so that would be really cool.
I'm definitely gonna get it myself. I'll probably have to get it next week after payday, but I'll watch you play it and be like, I want this so bad. Just be scratching like, I want the Jurassic Park, baby.
I know, right?
Especially because you can play with DNA and like change color patterns and stuff. Yeah, dude. It
like
looks
color
cool.
patterns and like behaviors and stuff. And it's like, oh yes, like you actually get to screw around with the dinos and like, that's fantastic. But yeah, I'm like super hyped for this game. And I didn't even know it was coming out. It was like, it's the game I've always wanted, and I never knew it. Also, speaking of games always wanting, for those members of PlayStation Plus, download XCOM 2. It is the free game this month. Give it a try. Oh my god. I mean, there's a lot of like DLC for it, so there's a lot of like extra stuff to buy for it, but just give that base game a try. Because, oh my god, it's so good. It's great. Oh god.
It's super fun, guy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take advantage of this, like, fully of this month's PS Pluses because I have had XCOM 2 since launch, and its DLCs, and War of the Chosen when it launched. So, yeah. Like I said, it's kind of a half-wasted month for me. I will be giving Trials Fusion a try, though, because I've heard a lot of good things about that game. But other than that, yeah, I can't, like, it's like, thanks, Sony. I have that game. I've had that game. Crap. Okay.
Well, you win some, you lose some, bud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And now to close out the show, because we got thrown back into another side.
I know, right? Holy crap!
Which is what we do. You can find me, Buster Knuckle, on Twitter at BusterKnuckle13. That's BusterKnuckle13. You can find me on PSN, BlisterLister113. Send a message saying RNGCast sent you or something like that. That way I know you're not some weird bot trying to hack my system. You can find this podcast, the RNGCast, at the RNGCast on Twitter. You can email us, the RNGCast@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you would like to support us monetarily at any tier, you will get you get bonus features such as us watching terrible movies, talking shit about it, which is really fun. By the way, Des, they're doing a Tremors series now.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's like, what the crap?
Yeah, buddy. It's super awesome, right? But, like I said, that would, at any tier, you get that. And Des and I've been working on some stuff, and I'll bring it up to Des once it gets fully fleshed out and not half-assed done. And that being said, this is episode 107 of the RNG cast. What can go wrong will go wrong. GorillaGolf, I'm sorry. You chatty fucking Kathy. We're out.
Later, man.
See you all next week. Jesus Christ, man. Just
oh yeah,
things hate us.